414, what it do, what it do. Welcome to the Monday edition of Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I'm the host of Outlaw Radio, the militant with a microphone, the mouthpiece of the movement, aka the Negro Whisperer. How y'all doing out there? It's been a while since we spoke, since we last conversed. We only do the shows 2 times a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. So when I go off on Wednesday, I don't come back until Monday. But a whole bunch of things have happened since then. So usually on a Monday night, we do Outlaw Radio Live and we just talk about that, catch everybody up on the facts, just converse like we always do. But sometimes it's a little bit more specific, and I'll tell you what that means as we go along. Once again, welcome to the show. There's a phone number attached to the show. If you get really into the conversation, you want to join in, contribute, what have you, it's 262-202-5131. Once again, 262-202-5131. And it's slowly scrolling across the bottom of the screen if you missed that. But welcome to the show, man. A very important discussion tonight will take place because it's something that's relevant to Black people. And Outlaw Radio is a foundational Black American platform. I'm fully delineated. I know I am the son and the grandson and the great-grandson and the great-great-grandson of the slaves from the American South. So that has to be said before you say, well, oh, okay, I got people in the chat room. Look, I'm so guilty of not looking down in my queue. I know Kamar said,
hey, man, you're making a habit of this shit.
Hey, man, when it's go time, it's me and the microphone. I'm paying attention to my woman. You know what I'm saying? But y'all came in right on time because I was really just kind of, stalling it up. But welcome to the show. This is going to be a very interesting show. First off and foremost, I have to say what up to my co-host, Mr. Carter, Ghetto Witch Doctor. What it do with you, brother? How you doing tonight?
Peace, family. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to Outlaw Radio, where we talk that talk and we definitely walk that motherfucking walk. Raising vibrations and elevating thought. Y'all better come on in. I'm trying to tell you I am the Black woman lover, the Black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer, the Ghetto Witch Doctor, the real OG. Hey, mama, there go the Seaboss, man!
That's what's happening.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's what's happening, man. We always, one of our pillars is Black entrepreneurship, Black business, the Black dollar. So he's not a businessman. He's a business man. And so I have to give my other brother here tonight his flowers, because one thing I will say about this brother is he rocks with Outlaw Radio. Over the past, I don't know how long it's been now, when he got something popping, when he got something going on in the community, he gonna bang the line and be like, hey, brothers, I want to come on. So my brother Ajamu Butler, man, how you doing tonight? Mr. Hill of Hood himself, what it do?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. Today was a long day, but a strong day. We in a winning season right now, man. Perpetual wins right now, man. I ain't got no complaining. I mean, I could complain. Life always trying to kick my ass, but, I speak life over my situations, man. I'm blessed, brother. I'm blessed.
There we go. Affirmations, positive affirmations. Now I got some special guests in the house tonight. And my brother, he's been here before, so he's part of the Outlaw family. And I want him to be able to introduce himself. So my brother, Eddie Silas, man, what it do, homie? Long time no see.
Man, what's going on, my boy? How you doing?
I am tight like Nat Booty.
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Like Ajamu said, man, I'm blessed, highly favored, man. So, you know what I mean? Thanks for having us back. But thanks for having us back this time.
Right. No doubt. Yeah. Now you got your partner here. I'm gonna let him introduce himself because he's never been here before. I think we were supposed to meet, but we didn't. We actually didn't. So I'm glad to have you here, my brother. Tell these people who you are and what you do.
Yes, sir. Once again, to piggyback off Ajamu and Eddie, glad to be here. Blessed and highly favored. Excited to continue to do the work that we do. My name is Theron Rogers, and I am co-owner and director of business development for Prolific Arms. Prolific Arms, we are, as you may or may not know, a retail gun store located in Wasalis, Wisconsin. But we are Milwaukee centered and Milwaukee based still. We provide security services, and we hyper focus on that gun safety training, conflict resolution, de-escalation, and professional communication in our community right here in Milwaukee.
That's what's up. And I said we talked about black business, but you brothers own a black gun store, right? A black-owned gun store in the state of Wisconsin. This
Yes,
is
sir.
very pivotal, and let's not understate this. One of my favorite things in the world is guns. Let's be honest. I mean, but I support legal, responsible ownership, right? And there's so many variables when it comes to guns nowadays. I'm so glad both of y'all here to talk about this, especially in light of the fact that guns are one of our biggest problems in our community as well. So we're going to talk about what the gun problem is. It's a whole bunch of gun stuff to talk about tonight. So if you want to talk about black people and guns, this is the show. Share it, share it, share it, share it. Now, I got to do this because I always like to do my where, when, why, and how. My brother, and I'll start with you, Ed. How did you get started on this pathway of say, okay, I'm gonna do firearms. That's gonna be my lane. How did this start for you?
Man, it was just the notice of what's needed in our community, man. Like when you go to other communities, and at the time I was a railroader, so I had the privilege of traveling all over the country. And what I would see all over the country is a bunch of resources that were available as it relates to firearms in all the communities I would stop in. But when I got back home and I decided to quit, it was a lack of, right? The lack of like firearms training, and we would have to go get training and even firearms for people who didn't look like us, who didn't share in our life experiences. So we want to make sure that we're able to provide that service to our community, because again, it's a lot of problems in our community that requires us to be hands-on. And if we're not hands-on doing the work, like organically through like showing people there's a different type of way, then we're lost. So again, it's just us taking responsibility for our community. And I think that when you mention gun stores and black men, it's something that is not prevalent. It don't happen, right? Being 1 out of 15 in the whole entire country. You know what I mean? So again, educating or providing education for to our community, and we giving it to people who look just like us. It means something a little different, because all these little stores around us, they get their money and they run out to Brookfield, they run out to Oak Creek, they run out to all these other locations, and we here and saying, hey, we here in the city, right? We live here, our family's here, we want to see it safer. All right, so that's how we started taking this journey, and we've been rocking out, man. Over 6,000 people trained in firearm safety. So
Okay.
yeah, that's how we've been rocking it.
Now let me catch my chat room. Chat room's always popping. Like I said, if you don't want to call in, the chat room is always active. Jeff Craig, what it do, homie? Down in Houston, in H-Town, in Texas, but from the mill, right? Neighborhood. Sean Mo, what it do, homie? You know what it do. Faux life, man. Faux life, Sean. What's going on, man? Dion, I see you. Dion's here early before the show starts. So he's like, hello, because we was a little, So what up, Dion? How you doing? Now, my brother, I want to listen, what I do is I mess up people names. So I don't want to Theron, right? Is it okay? Because I be calling you Terry or something. People be like, Kev, that's not the dude name. My brother, what started you on this pathway? Like to get on, I'm gonna do firearms. Like what puts you in that frame of mind?
Yeah, so I guess what I would say is a more organic approach. Like I intentionally, however, right? I started my career with the U.S. Air Force. I'm 16 years in. I'm I say almost 17 years, so about 3 years away from retirement. So been in the Air Force a bunch of time. After joining the Air Force, I returned from my training back to Wisconsin, and then I applied as to be a state patrol officer, a state trooper. So I navigated that process successfully. I was a state trooper for a little over 2 years. I was on the interstate here, right in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, so I-94, southbound and northbound to the Illinois border. From there, I transitioned to UW Milwaukee Police Department. I was a part of UW Milwaukee Police Department for several years. I was a court officer there, a patrol officer there. Also, is where I got into the instruction piece, and I found some mentors in that department who took me under their wings. Shout out to retired officers Lamar Griffin, Craig Rafferty, and Donald Brown.
Okay.
Those three guys were mentors to me. They were training and instructing in different areas across campus. So, them taking me under their wings, I found myself instructing active shooter training and firearm safety training, and de-escalation training, professional communication training across UWM campus to the different departments, and so the different faculty and staff departments, and to new and incoming students on campus. So I did that for several years before resigning from there and going over to Sherwood PD, where I was there for, once again, about 2 years. I was a patrol officer there and a police sergeant there before resigning. And I started my own security company. So 2018, I started my own security company. And starting that security company, we, having a niche for an interest in training, through my background and some of the certificates and experience we already had, I found out, I was qualified to teach concealed carry here in Wisconsin once the state of Wisconsin said, that's the thing they're going to afford us as community members to do. So started instructing, and in that instruction, um, Eddie, by this time, Eddie is on board. He's a part of the security company. He's instructing. He's an NRA instructor. I'm an NRA instructor, and we're teaching a lot of classes. One of the things we hang our hat on is probably about 85% of those participants in all those classes were Black women. So we were teaching a lot of classes in our community, empowering our women to stay safe, and protect themselves. And we started getting the organic questions. Okay, so we finished the class. Hey, where should we go fire firearms? Where do we go shoot these firearms? How, can you guys give us some training? And we ended up partnering with a guy who was licensed, but he didn't have a retail shop. He was selling firearms out of his garage, which is legal if you have an FFL. So ATF gave him the blessing. He's licensed, and Eddie ended up developing a really close relationship with him, which essentially turned into a partnership. And so Eddie's first store in partnership with him was out in Landon, Wisconsin. And then in 2023, I'm deployed with the Air Force on a special assignment at Luke Air Force Base. And Eddie's calling like, bro, we got to open a gun shop. Like, I mean, I'm with anything, but I'm like, how we gonna do it? Make it make sense, bro. So he's doing all his due diligence, research. I'm doing some due diligence, research. Fast forward, I'm finishing up that assignment at Luke Air Force Base, and the shop we're in now, I'm literally back in town. I meet him. I'm still in uniform. The gentleman who owns the store, he's going out of business, getting ready to retire, and we're standing on the side of the store, real time, strategizing, game planning how we're going to open this firearm store.
Now, let me ask a quick question. Ed, what was the name of the store where I met you at?
That was Wisconsin Firearms and Transfers, which I'm no longer associated with, by the way.
Right away. Yeah. I've been to the new joint. I just wanted to shout you out because I still love my 357 I got from there. It's still one of my favorite toys, man.
That was the Ranger Hunter, right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Hold on.
I enjoy it very much. It's
you inspired me to get the same one.
He put that one on Facebook. I'm like, brother, I'm on my way tonight, right?
Hey, that's a nice, that's powerful.
Oh my God, it's a very beautiful piece of engineering. Now, my brother Ajamu, Mr. Hill of Hood, you come into this thing. I want you to explain what you're doing with Prolific and how your part's working. So I want to give you some shine too for that. What's up with your part of this?
Most definitely, man. And I'm honored to be a part of the team. I ain't gonna lie. I really have grown to love them brothers. And I've really only been a part of the team about 2 months now. But I do get to see them brothers as community men, businessmen, fathers. I watch them juggling business and their kids and family life. And I just really respect them brothers. But so I moved to North Carolina last year, and I was coming back here. I was gonna be here from like May to the end of August, right? And obviously we wrapping up this whole run I've been here on. But on my way back, I'm like, let me just find me some little employment shit. You know what I'm saying? See what's out there. Let me just find me a little part-time something I love to do, just get a consistent check coming. I see a security gig coming on. I already fuck with the martial arts, the firearms. I got history in security. I be with the drama, so in my mind, I be wanting a nigga to say something to me so I can put this jujitsu on his ass or something. But I keep it calm. I keep it cool, calm, and collected for real. But nonetheless, I end up applying for the position of just
Okay.
event staff. It was just event security. Had a meeting with Theron, and he was like, "Listen, man, I talked to my team. I talked to a couple other folks, man. And you come highly recommended. Like, fuck this event security shit. Like, we want to bring you on as our community engagement person." And it's nothing but divine timing. And Theron, been telling the story as of lately, but they had just created a position for a community engagement person. So when me and him met, we chopped it up. He was like, "What you think about this position?" I'm like, "Shit, when you want to start?" And it's been on and popping since then, man. And I love the work. I can't wait to, do more work and just continue to build and grow with these brothers. Real talk.
Okay, because I want to talk about the community engagement part of this. Let me get to my chat room really quick. Earl Henning, what it do? Earl, how you doing, my brother? Outlaw, part of Outlaw family. He said, "What it do, my brothers? Chocolate milk, love us." Crystal Ship, how you doing, my sister? Crystal Ship in the
Crystal
chat room.
shit, that's my baby.
She said, "Good evening, Outlaws. This is a dope set of guests and business owner." Yes, yes, ma'am. It is always a pleasure when players meet. Not players like playing women, but players of life. Uh, Shout out to Ascot Jones, my cousin, who is down in Texas, I believe, and I'm supposed to have his book. Um, I'm supposed to have his book in my hand every time I say his name, and I don't got it. I'm slipping. But he has written a book. He's also one of the entrepreneurial spirit. So shout out to my family down in Texas. How you doing? He said, "Love to see it. You brothers are a true inspiration." I hope somebody gets something out of this. Crystal Ship is giving y'all a link. This is dope. She's giving the link. And we see us men, we just get to talk and ain't nobody
Right.
what they talking about. Shout out to you, Crystal Ship. Y'all, if y'all in the chat room and y'all wondering how to get in touch with these brothers, hit this link. Ed, you got to send me some stuff so I can promote the People's News Network. As a matter of fact, you already a member, so you could share whatever you want to promote what y'all doing. Cuzzo down in Texas said, "I love my 454 Casul." Holy, whoa.
Big boy, that's a big boy.
Right. He had to outdo us all.
Yeah.
454, because what you shooting at, a dinosaur? Good Lord. Ajamu said, "Follow us." There we go. Follow us up. So Ajamu, I called him Ajamu one time. I mean Ajamu. He said, "Follow us at Prolific Arms LLC for all of your firearm and education needs." Telly Nella, man, what it do, man? Neighborhood, what it do, man? He said, "Kev, what up, famo? My brother, nothing but love. Known that man for a very long time." Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Y'all do me a favor. Share the show. That's all we usually ask, right? Is just share the show. Just put it in front of people and let them hear what the discussion that we're going to have tonight. So I want to get into the community part of this because, and I think this is unique to a black-owned gun store because, and I don't know, shoot me if I'm wrong, but I don't think most of these white-owned gun stores do any kind of community engagement. Of course, you can go there and get some training or get some permits, but I see you brothers talking to young people. I see y'all at different events. So y'all want to tell us about y'all whole community engagement piece?
Sure. So as it relates to any other store, same thing. I don't know that they do or don't, but just being accountable to ourselves and really purpose and passion driven. So once again, like we sell firearms, but Eddie and I both like we aren't shy to say we are community safety advocates and trainers and educators first. We just happen to sell firearms too. And the fact that we sell firearms in our community and highlighting, some of the points you made earlier, like some issues we dealing with in our community as it relates to firearms. So with that, we absolutely feel like we have a greater responsibility and accountability to our community to, be the resource and be, as it relates to the education piece, right? We are subject matter experts. Like we know this arena in and out now. We know it intimately. So, one of the other things we talk about is, how do we combat some of the issues we're faced with and deal with in our community is literally education. In the Black community, every time throughout history, we've had to navigate the challenge of getting from one side to the other side of the aisle as it relates to an issue in our community, whether it's access to education, access to financial resources, whatever that looks like. It's the difference for us has been our ability to gain access to education in that arena. And we want to be the people or part of the solution, right, to bridge that gap in our community.
Okay, so and that's a
And I,
beautiful segue. Hold on, just give
I
me a
was gonna
second.
say, can I chime in? Yeah,
It's
yes,
a
sir.
beautiful segue into let's talk about the problems. Let's talk about the gun problem because we're sitting right now with about 85 homicides. We've had endless weekends where people have been killed. I don't know, what is it, up to 18 weeks or something like that now. These firearms are in the hands of a lot of times 14, 15-year-olds, you very young people, right? Like I always say, when I was doing my thing in the streets, you had a 38, you was the man, right? Like, oh, dude, got a gun. Like these cats now has got drums and switches on Glocks with boxes, and the violence hasn't stopped. So I want to get to that, but brother Ajamu, go ahead because I cut you off. Go ahead, my brother.
No, for sure. I appreciate it. And hopefully what I share will segue, kind of right into it and whatnot. I think we have to realize that firearms have been around damn near since the beginning of the time, right? They ain't going nowhere no time soon, unfortunately. I wish that we could take every switch out the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Kev, brother Kamar, y'all know I was doing work in the detention center, for about a year and a half, man. And majority of them young boys was in there for different crimes related to firearms, if you will. And so I wish we could take every gun out the ghetto, but I don't know how realistic that is. What I do know what is realistic is if we can get 3 or 4 black men with extensive knowledge in the firearm game and just laws they're pertaining to, and we get up next to these young brothers and chop some game and we educate them, right? Now, just because we come and educate about laws and firearms, that don't mean little man and them not still gonna carry that drum, so on and so forth. But our goal is, even if we can't get that demographic to slow down, maybe we can slow down these accidental shootings, right? Where kids is playing with firearms and shot their cousin on accident, or you know what I'm saying, they did this and so on and so forth. So maybe if we can educate families on how to better store firearms and offer some different options so that kids are not so easy. Oh, I know my mama keep her gun under the bed. Oh, my daddy keep his gun up top there. If we can educate families on how to store firearms to reduce and mitigate young people getting a hold of them arms and then doing some crazy shit out here. So I think it's definitely layers to it. And I ain't gonna lie, as we merge prolific and what we're doing with Heal the Hood Milwaukee, I think we're gonna be able to, play our role.
Okay, so something like just a simple distribution of gun locks, right? Just to say, hey, if you got a gun, you know what I mean, get a gun lock. Like, and I think because people are not educated in the responsible ownership of firearms, more often than not, they don't have a gun lock or don't know what it is. Just to be honest.
One of the things too that we highlight is like the education side, right? And part of the education side is constantly talking about safety, right? And how that looks. So as far as like gun locks goes, like we talk about 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old getting a hold of guns. They're getting those guns and they're stolen most of the time. And they're stolen from cars at that. So this is a fact. 59% of the firearms stolen in the city of Milwaukee are stolen from vehicles.
Wow. 50%?
59%.
59% is crazy.
And most of those guns are used in violent crimes, right? So simply learning to lock your weapon away when it's in the car can literally shape the violence in our city. Right. Literally.
Hey, how many of them gun boxes did we give away, or gun locks? Was it several thousand?
The gun boxes we gave away is a Snap Safe lock box, and we gave away 575 through our one of our community partners, the Office of Wellness and Safety, through the Office of Wellness and Safety.
And see, that's what when I say the community engagement part, because I see you all partnering with other organizations. Like I see some of the social media stuff, but the reason I brought up gun locks is because he said accidental shootings by children, where in which the gun is stored in the home and the child gets a hold to it. My thing with the gun lock being locked in the car is if you need it, it becomes a little cumbersome for you to be trying to get the lock off. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's going to be most people's argument. Like, man, I ain't put no lock on my gun. It's in my car.
Right. So the thing about that is you're only locking away your gun when you're taking that firearm into places where you're not supposed to have a firearm. Right, okay. Because we are law-abiding citizens, but at the same time, that lock is going to prevent that gun from being stolen, right? So that's the whole point of it. And if you can prevent the gun from being stolen, you've literally like saved a life, right? Because again, most of those guns are used in violent crimes.
Okay. Yeah. So to piggyback off Eddie, so CCW is a thing in Milwaukee and Wisconsin, right? So would-be and criminals, they know that. They know that most people are concealed carrying. They also know that most of those people are law-abiding citizens, and they're going to adhere to the rules when the church says or the local business or restaurant says no firearms welcome. You're going to leave it in your vehicle. They're going to stick it under the seat, the glove box somewhere, right, out of sight. But if you don't have that lock box in your vehicle, we know they're just breaking windows and they're in your car 45 seconds, checking under the seats, checking different places. They're looking for a firearm.
Right.
If you have that snap safe storage box in there, that's literally the barrier between them and that firearm. So we talk about, the importance of firearm retention, like keeping control of that firearm, even when you don't have physical control of that firearm. That $50 lockbox is the difference, right? And we talk about basic ways we can all participate in doing our part to mitigate and prevent these numbers. That's it. That's a $50 way, right? That we all participate in lowering gun theft and then lowering gun violence. When you talk about shootings and homicides, that's one of the ways.
We talk about direct impact.
Direct impact.
Now, Juice Lady's in the building. What it do, Courtney? How you doing tonight?
I'm well. How y'all doing?
We are well. We have our brothers from Prolific Firearms here, as well as Mr. Hill the Hood himself. You know him, Mr. Achibu Butler in the building. Now, I want to get back to the problem, okay? Because we talk about how many of these young people have access to these firearms, and you just gave a staggering statistic to say that 59% of these guns are stolen. Right? Like, that is crazy, because I keep wondering if there's a legislative need to maybe make background checks more tough on you, and then we've even come on here and talked about somebody need to regulate manufacturers or something, because there has to be a way. It's too many guns. It's too many in the hands of young people. Now, you just gave me that statistic. It kind of it tells me something, but it still doesn't really give me a solution as to what we need to do right now to fix the gun problem in the city.
Let me offer this up. and there are no gun stores in Milwaukee.
Right, that's true.
There are no gun stores in Milwaukee. Throughout all of the rest of Wisconsin, there are gun stores everywhere. In shopping centers and plazas everywhere. So we also need to understand, like, guns in Milwaukee and Wisconsin isn't a Milwaukee problem or issue. Rather, guns are everywhere. So there's as many guns in, the suburban communities. You pick a Brookfield, a Tulsa, or what have you, as there are in Wisconsin. Once again, what Eddie and I have identified as the difference is organic access to educational resources, right? So when you talk about those, and we don't call them accidents, we call them, they're incidents or incidental shootings or negligent shootings, because guns don't come into homes by chance. They're in a home intentionally. And if a 4-year-old gets a hold of it, it's because someone didn't have the proper education and training on how to store that firearm. So what we, said that, we can point the fingers at different entities and people. We'd rather call each other out, right? As gun store owners, we're responsible. We're the problem, right? As gun store owners, we're also the solution, right?
So maybe I said that wrong. I'm not simply talking about the number of guns. I think I was really talking more about the gun violence.
Yeah.
Because guns, just having a lot of guns around is one thing, but having a very serious gun violence problem. Now, Wisconsin, for the most part, is a rural state, right? So they ride around with rifles in the pickup windows up north. That's why they have gun stores. They shoot deer. They go hunting. So they don't really understand our outcry against guns in a lot of cases, because they don't have the level of gun violence that we have. I think we probably got the biggest gun violence problem in the state.
All right, Kim, what I want you to look at, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what Theron was saying, is there's no gun stores in the city of Milwaukee, which means there are no resources in the city of Milwaukee, right? No educational resources in the city of Milwaukee. And what you see, and quite often what you see with the lack of education, you want to see the increase in violence, right? So if we can directly educate the people versus again, then you got to start asking yourself questions like, wait, is this systematic? Why are there no gun stores in the city of Milwaukee? Why is there no educational resources in the city of Milwaukee? Right? Is it because it's predominantly Black?
Mhm.
Right? Like, start to ask yourself those questions. And I'm saying, for me, it started to shift because I felt like you at first, like, man, there are too many guns in the city of Milwaukee.
In the hands of young people. In the hands of young people.
In the hands of young people, right? But again, what you see, like as far as like accidents, firearm accidents happening, right? You see it happening more in the city than on the outskirts. In the outskirts or the suburbs, they got more organic educational resources available to them. Like the NRA is actually in schools out there, right? There are actually in schools. They got the Boy Scouts, right, who actually are affiliated with the NRA that provides education to kids in elementary school, right?
Because of the hunter safety courses, Eddie, you can have it back. But hunter safety courses, that's another big thing.
Yeah, and also the hunter safety courses that they have, right?
Yeah, because they hunt. Yeah.
They hunt, right? So this is all hunter safety course is nothing but a firearm education course. So education and accidents, you will see the accidents drop as right on the long side of education, right? So you'll see the accidents actually drop because people are being educated at a higher rate when you're in the suburbs and when you're out in the outskirts of Wisconsin.
Got you. Now, Courtney, I don't know if you was trying to jump in. I heard you say Kevin, and I was still talking. So, was you trying to put something?
Yeah, I was
in
gonna because you were like, because you were talking about background checks and trying to increase those or make them a little tougher. But I was saying, how does that protect somebody like the old ladies whose guns are being stolen? Because no matter what type of background checks we have, like somebody took my mama's guns not too long ago. So.
So what I meant was with background checks is like people who have maybe, and I don't know, this might be hard to extend it to. That's why I was just kind of throwing it out there. Domestic violence, mental health issues, certain things that would qualify as red flags. Like this person probably shouldn't be able to have one. So I don't know if that's included now.
So Kev, as a FFL, I can absolutely tell you 100% it's included. If we run a background check on you and you have a domestic violence in your past, you cannot purchase a firearm or even have a concealed carry license. If you have or ever been mentally committed to a hospital, then you can't have a firearm. And also, if you're a felon, then you can't have a firearm either. Right. So those are the things. There are protections. So I think we need to be very careful as 2A advocates because we're asking for more laws against us when we're not the problem and we're not breaking the laws. Right. So we need to be very careful about what we ask for because the people out here committing crimes, they don't give a damn about, no laws in the first place, or if they wouldn't even broken your car to stole the gun to begin with.
Yeah, I will murder you, but I ain't got my CCW on me, right? Like, no, it don't go like that, right? I know that.
Exactly. So
let me go to the chat room right quick, my brother. Crystal Ship is shouting y'all out again, or she's shouting out, putting out some information. She said you can get the free gun locks from the Office of Safety and Wellness and West Care. Also, Brother Von Mays gives out gun locks as well. Shout out to those brothers. Shout out to those organizations. Ruben Anderson, what it do? He said, good evening. Sire, what it do, man? Sire Williams, what it do, man? This is Prolific Firearms. I don't know if y'all been on Sire before. Ed, I think you rocked with Sire before, haven't you? Haven't you gone over there? Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Sire.
What up?
Let me catch the chat room, and then you can go, Ajamu. She said, Ajamu Butler, facts. Teamwork makes the dream work. I get behind on this chat room, y'all. I'll be talking about stuff we talked about 15 minutes later. Crystal says, huge shout out to all of the CW teams, Prolific and other organizations and leaders who are out there in the trenches trying to decrease violence and save lives. For sure. Beauty Waddington in the chat room, she said absolutely not. See, I don't know what Beauty talking about. Earl Henning said, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, need I say more? She says, in the hands of all people, hold up. I see it's all men on the panel. How many people on the panel have gun in their homes and their whole entire family no gun safety?
That's what I wanted to address.
I can say I do. I got a house full of guns, and my my people know. They know that. Look, hey,
Right.
this, you know what I mean?
Beauty, that's how education look. That's how
Yeah.
it's supposed to look. It's called a
Hey,
family.
that's what I was gonna say. Come on, come
It's
on.
called a family safety plan. That's how it's supposed to look. We can send you some info on that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And my
Absolutely.
wife won't even touch a gun, so she's the ultimate safety gun person.
But
She won't even touch it. She ain't gonna pick it up. Now my son, he know, you know what I mean? We've been to the range, so it's everybody know what's up. Beauty said, don't blame the suburbs, don't kill. I don't think there was any blame. I think there was a comparison of statistics in what regions don't have as big a problem with gun violence. And what my brother was saying is, since we have no gun stores in Milwaukee and it's not a rural setting where they hunt, or we don't teach, like, you don't take hunter safety, naturally in the outskirts where they do, those incidents of accidental deaths via handguns go down. I think that's what my brother was trying to say. And they on here. I'm not trying to talk for him. I'm just saying. She said we as a people can't even get along in a conversation. Watch. Well, we gonna get along tonight. I don't know what show you watch. We gonna be
I know
good
that's
tonight.
right. I don't know.
We Gucci tonight.
We go definitely get along.
Yeah, no, ain't none of that. She said she saw you, Courtney. She said there is one girly on the panel, and she called you a girl. Okay, now I don't know, Ajamu. I think you was trying to chime in. I just wanted to get my chat room. Go ahead, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely. Couple of things as it pertains to why you see a spike in urban areas versus suburban areas or rural areas. I think we also need to focus on the access to mental health resources and what that looks like in those varying communities. I think we also need to pay attention to what the medical and the educational systems look like in those regions. Because you can dump a bunch of guns in the ghettos, and if you dump them on the people who don't know how to read or who have social emotional disconnection, it's going to be calamity and chaos. So, when we're looking at that violence and we're doing that comparison, I think we got to get a little bit deeper into, political, as we already talked about, systematic things that go on. But I promise you, if we focus on educational policies, mental health, and the medical field and what role that plays in perpetuating violence, we're gonna see a huge shift. And then, to the sister's point, and I know I can speak for myself, Eddie, Deron, you already just said it, like we all are avid firearm owners and our whole family from the baby to the elders. You know what I'm saying? We talk to them about these things. We teach them about these things. I spent a lot of time in the pandemic. We ain't had nothing but time breaking down firearms with my son and my niece. And this was 5 years ago. My son is 13 now. So he was 8 years old. We breaking down handguns, shotguns. We cleaning them. We talking about the dangers thereof. We just having genuine open conversation. Like, listen, you're going to see a lot of these in video games and movies and TVs, but this shit is not to play with. This shit to keep us safe in the tribe. So I don't necessarily know what made the sister, kind of throw that type of energy or that type of commentary out there, but we not in this thing talking about prolific for no reason, just because we gun crazy and we want the whole world to have guns. The educational piece is the biggest aspect of what it is that we do. We just said we educated, what you say, Eddie, 6,000 people so far as far as educational courses, and that's growing as we're doing all of this youth work. But we ain't sell 6,000 people guns, but we did educate 6,000 people. So it's we got to be real careful when we make those type of commentaries and assumptions. But that's it for me, though.
No, it's cool. And beauty, I mean, once again, I think people have questions, and sometimes they're asking the question, they're trying to ask the question, but they ain't really asking the question. You know what I'm saying? They telling you something like, "Oh yeah, well, what's your question?" You know what I mean? So shout out to her. So it's cool.
One thing I want to throw out there too, like, ask the question, right? Ask the question, because either ask a question or provide a solution, right? It's a two-sided coin, right? Mm-hmm. You gotta be able to provide solutions, and no action, then the community's getting nothing from no action at all. But we tried doing nothing already, and we see the results, right? We see the results of nothing. So we have to do something. Education is the key. Malcolm X, what's the Malcolm X statement? What is it? Education belongs to those who prepare for today, right? Like you have to prepare. We have to prepare and get ready for what's coming, right? And not saying that something is coming, but I'm saying we have to prepare. That's the key word. So I think provide a solution or help the people that are providing solutions.
If I can interject real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I hate when black people see other black people doing something positive and then they put some bullshit words in there. I hate that shit, man.
I love you,
Turn the
Kamal. You hear
fucking
me?
channel. Turn the fucking if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Shit. You know what I'm
But,
saying? Let us do our thing.
but you know what? Like, that's, hey,
This
that's
is
some
true.
blunt. That's some blunt honesty. I'll say this though, like, I welcome all of it, right? Because for so long we ain't had no conversation
Right,
about guns.
right.
You know,
That's
like we literally treated guns like,
Good
especially with our
teacher.
kids. I remember growing up, and my grandma said we couldn't play with water guns. Remember the cap guns and all that stuff. If it was around, we got a whooping and spanking. My mom, they knew. My dad, no
wow.
guns, no guns. So like, it was like, let's just act. The way we gonna fix the problem is we just gonna erase them and act like they don't exist, right? And then
Mm.
here we are today. And then one of the things, the main thing I really wanted to interject on was when we talking about education. To be clear, and to provide more insight, we're not just talking about safety. So our class, our course, and our curriculum, we've termed it safety awareness and firearm education. So the reason I say that is because we're just not talking about the firearm education piece. We're also talking about everything that goes along with being a responsible gun owner. So one of the courses we also teach and we go in and talk to youth about is effective communication and conflict resolution skills. One of the
Come on.
examples I use with those youth is, guess what? I've carried a gun on my side for close to 16 years now in some capacity, some professional capacity, or in keeping myself safe. Thankfully, and all credit to God, I've never had to use that firearm. But guess what I've had to use to save my life in a lot of occasions on a regular basis? De-escalation skills and conflict resolution skills, right? So once again, one of the things we talk about, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So just you decide to arm yourself with a firearm. If the only thing you know a firearm is used for, that's the only way I'm going to protect yourself. I mean myself. That's what I need. That's what I need for protection. You may need it for protection, but the likelihood of you needing it
You're going
is
to
really
prison.
low, believe it or not. Right. You're going to prison.
Just be
Exactly.
honest. You're
Right.
going to prison.
Right. Exactly. So effective communication skills, conflict resolution is what's going to save you. And we just had a group of youth um, over the last few weeks. We've had groups of youth where we're talking about conflict is a normal thing, y'all. We need y'all to understand, like, conflict is not abnormal. Conflict is not something you can avoid and you should avoid. We need y'all to learn how to get in the ring with each other and conflict with each other and come out without the need to resort to violence. We need y'all to exercise and learn effective communication and de-escalation skills, and not just saying those words. What do they look like? And then in dealing with that, let's talk about how you can effectively deal with that. Do you got some trauma that you're dealing with? Do you got some PTSD that you're dealing with? Because TV, and when you hear terms like this, you think it's somebody who's crazy, who don't look like you. It's absolutely all of us. One of the things I ask people, I say, raise your hand if you know somebody in the community who's been shot. Raise your hand if you know of somebody in the community who's been killed. Raise your hand if you've seen the video. Raise your hand if you've seen it on YouTube or whatever, if you drove past it, right? By the time we get through asking these questions, every hand is up in the classroom. Guess what that means? That means that we're all dealing with indirect or direct trauma that we need to be able to deal with.
Okay. I'm going to the chat room really quickly. Earl Henning says, sounds like she missed Orlando Owens. Why y'all be giving my boy Orlando a hard time, man? They go, Orlando ain't got to be on the show. People just, they just go ahead, my brother, man. Beauty said, what happened to Capitol Court? Beauty, I have no clue what you talking about. Capitol Court been gone over a dub. I don't know if it was the guns that got Capitol Court closed down. I know it was a lot of fights. There was some shooting incidents there, but I mean, I don't know how that's pertinent to the conversation. But Ajamu shouting out Sair. This is Ruben. He says, I guess I just like to know more about the steps being taken to educate young people on the issue of gun violence. And I think that's what my brother both of these brothers have spoken to. Let me get the chat room first, Ajamu, then you can have a
Yes,
wheel.
sir. Yes, sir.
This is he's shouting out my cousin, Ascot Jones. Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, sir. Cause he's strapped up. Trust my family is a gun family. So most of the people in my family have multiple firearms. And my dad was a hunter. So we always had guns in the house when I was growing up. I'm 12 gauge, 30 30, 306. All this. Pops was like, yo, this is in his front closet. and if you touch it, I'm beating your ass. Now, when he left, we played with him. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the safest environment, but we were familiar with them. We made sure they wasn't loaded. Erica Hunt, how you doing, my sister? She said, "What up, Outlaws? Prolific firearms are Earth Angels." So she's giving y'all love.
Appreciate it.
Earl Henning, he said she's Miss Orlando Owens. Erica said hire her. You had to apply for a job off the air, Erica. Inbox these brothers. Inbox these.
Hey, inbox info@prolificssafe.com, Erica.
There we go. Crystal Ship is giving out. She said Facebook. I think she's sharing something. I don't know what that link is. It might be mine. I don't even know. Beauty said I probably did miss Orlando Owens. I don't know why y'all keep talking about Orlando. So this is Ajamu. You are conversing with Crystal Ship. I don't know if you wanted me to read that, or if that was just your message to her.
Yeah, I was just naming some different organizations instead.
Okay, so this is him. I'm just going through them, y'all, trying to get Ticey Gotsy. She said Eddie Silas. Hey, shout out to Ticey Gotsy. Brittany Rogers in the chat room. She said Erica Hunt email. Okay, she's giving the information for communication is going down. I love it. I ain't gonna say if people are conversing with each other. I'm not gonna. Okay, so we good. Now who was trying? I think he was trying to drop. Go ahead, just trying to keep it clean.
Yeah, and shout out to Brittany in the comments. That's Theron's lovely wife. So shout out to her being on the digital side of things, checking in with us on Facebook and everything. Thank you. But I wanted to answer that question about educating young people. So, and this is just, I'm only speaking from my short time with Prolific because it's only been, like I say, maybe 2 months. So far in that time frame, we've worked with about 50 young people at Marquette. We came in and did a 3-day course dealing with firearm safety, healthy communication, de-escalation techniques, and they also was able to learn about CPR and first aid. We just did some work with Your Move MKE, about a dozen young people in that particular session with their staff members as well, talking about these same things, safe family planning, XYZ. We did a session with Sedan Smith. He has a Saturday morning group that he's been leading. Phenomenal work that black man is doing with them babies, them hood babies for real. And we went with them, talked about firearm safety, how to handle firearms, parts of firearms. And we don't talk about guns like Big Bro Theron just said, without educating about de-escalation, healthy healthy communication, emotional intelligence. So I say all of that to say, like, within the last, what would y'all say, Eddie and Theron, 30 days, we probably been touched, close to 200 kids just talking about this movement, this work, this curriculum, and this campaign. And then we got more, scheduled and on the way in the next, 2 months or so. So we definitely, we do it. I love what we do with the young people. Y'all, and if anybody online know about me and Hill the Hood, I wouldn't even fuck with nobody who ain't totally in alignment with the work that we do. And this such a perfect merger. So y'all know all I do is this youth shit. And to bring Prolific into that same space, it's perfect. It's perfect.
And so we address the youth, and that's fine. But there's some room for some grown people to be addressed too. Absolutely. In particular, when we talk about sisters, right? And once again, my wife, there by the grace of God goes she. I try to tell her all the time, why don't you tuck you a little something in your purse? Because it's some wolves out here, right? And so we want when we start talking about the CCW thing, and this is what I want to talk about with y'all, because people get confused. Wisconsin is actually an open carry state, all right? But we do have the ability to carry concealed, and I don't think people understand the difference between those two. And I know you all provide the training, so let's talk about what the CCW is versus what you have as rights as a open carry state.
Yeah. So CCW, when you hear CCW license, CCW permit, it's all the same thing. So it stands for Concealed Carry Weapons Permit and/or License. So that is a privilege afforded to us through legislation, and monitored over the oversight is Wisconsin DOJ. So to your point, Wisconsin is an open carry state, meaning it without rebuttal or without argument acknowledges our Second Amendment right to bear arms, right, which is afforded to us as our Second Amendment, right? So that's a federal as a United States citizen, you're afforded that privilege. And then the CCW piece, right, the concealed carry piece, was Wisconsin saying, hey, if you decide you want to go armed and exercise your right to bear arms, we're going to go a step further and allow, if you go get the training and education, allow you to conceal carry and be anonymous with your carry. There's, a lot to be said about the reasoning behind that. One of the things we like to talk about is, there's a tactical advantage to that, and then it doesn't make you a target. In our classes, we show a bunch of video as education to highlight, hey, if you open carry, you can make yourself a target. There are literally would be and actual criminals who make a living out of targeting people who open carry to take their firearms. Because if you open carry your firearms and I walk up to you and my firearm is drawn, you can't do anything but let me take it, because action beats reaction every time.
Okay. Now, so if I'm carrying open, this is another question that's popular. If I got it out where you can see it, right? Is it legal for me to have a magazine in it? Well, not necessarily one in the chamber, but a magazine in it, because I know there's some rules for driving with a weapon as well, right? Like you can't have it loaded. You have to have like the ammunition in the trunk or something. I don't know. Y'all straighten me out.
Unloaded, out of reach, or in plain view.
Okay.
So you can, if you're open carrying, you can have one in the chamber, you can have it on your side. But the fact is, the moment your coat goes, it's considered concealed carry, right? Okay. The moment your jacket or shirt goes over it, it's concealed. The reason why we're so like concealed carry advocates, again, because if you're showing your weapon, you're giving up your tactical advantage. In the bank robbery, who's the first guy to get shot? Security, right? Why is that? It's because they know he has a weapon, right? So you're going to take out the opposition first, right? But let's say if the security was just dressed in normal clothes and he was moving out his day, do we have the tactical advantage when those bank robbers run in there now? Probably, right? So you just don't want to give up that tactical advantage. So we big on learning to conceal that weapon and concealing it properly. Although we're an open carry state, circumstances and then the city conditions, I don't think it's smart to open carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so a lot of people, I think the confusion comes in because you see a lot of brothers now with their guns out, like they're openly carrying them, but they have a CCW. So it's like, wait a minute, do you want me to know you got it or don't you? Because you see, I've seen brothers come in the store like, damn, man, I ain't finna be here long. I got a hold, you know what I mean?
People just don't know the difference, right? We're, one of the questions we ask for clarity for our students, we're in a class and we say, hey, everybody's here for a concealed carry permit. How many people are here because they want to get a concealed carry permit to open carry? So we get a few people in those classes who raise their hand, and we try to educate them right then and there to say, we're encouraging you to get a concealed carry permit to legally conceal your weapon, but you don't need to be here, right, for a concealed carry permit. You can open carry, but there's just a bunch of safety ramifications and considerations that go along with that. I just also wanted to reiterate and specify, as it relates to carrying in a vehicle, if you have your concealed carry permit, your firearm can be on you or next to you, loaded and in reach, right? Because 99% of the ways you carry and possess a firearm in a vehicle will fall under the umbrella of concealed carry. So you absolutely, if you're gonna have a firearm in your vehicle, loaded, round chamber, for use of protection, right? You absolutely should have a concealed carry permit. But to Eddie's example, if you're going to be carrying a rifle or a shotgun, right, that weapon needs to be unloaded and out of reach and encased in that vehicle.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
Another thing I want to add is you need to know the difference between like what's a rifle and what's a pistol, right? A pistol is, a rifle is barrel length greater than 16 inches or 16 inches or greater, and it has a brace on it or a stock on it instead of a brace. A pistol is less than 16 inches and has a brace on it instead of a stock. You know what I mean? And knowing that, like those little nuances that way, it's a difference between you going to jail or not, right? So you need to make sure if you're going to be carrying, you should know the laws, and that's the whole point of a firearm safety course, to where you can learn those different things.
And that's one of the forgotten things about the Black Panther Party, the original party for self-defense. A lot of people talk this and that, but they don't understand Huey had a legal mind. He had been to law school. So they carried those firearms, but when the police would approach them, he knew all of the laws. To say under this state, none of this law, state statute, da. Of course, until they went to the Capitol, and then California said none of y'all can have guns. But you got to know the law. That was my point. Ace Cooley says, "What up? What it do? Listening from Atlanta, from the Atlanta airport." He said, "I see y'all talking about the pew pew." Absolutely. Ruben Anderson said, "Let me get this up." He said, I can't get it up, y'all. Hold on. My screen is kind of slow right now. My computer is nice. Don't say you got an old computer. Ruben Anderson said, to the brother, I would say you are on your game, and I appreciate that. God bless you. Ashcott Jones says, yes, please clear up the myths. I got some other myths I want to talk about, but I want to get the chat room represented. She said, shout out to Butler Jamu for hitting up Brownsville Days yesterday, spreading the word about the Heal the Hood and Prolific. I missed Brownsville Days yesterday.
I ain't gonna let you was late.
Oh, okay. I love it. I love when somebody honest. They say it was beautiful. Ace Cooley said, thank you for tuning in, fam. Oh, this is Ajamu talking to Ace. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna do that, but dude, this thing, I'm Ron Burgundy, like with the teleprompter. I just read what's on there, so it'd be like I might say anything. This is Ajamu conversing with the people. Erica Hunt, she said she sent the email, y'all. So
Erica owned it.
Ace Cooley said, are we still having problems with owning pistol braces, or are they still giving felonies for them?
Not at all, man. We got them back, man. We got them. So we actually run. I say us in the gun community, we actually run that to where we can actually have pistol braces.
Okay. Hey, Eddie, tell them what a pistol brace is, brother.
I'm gonna just show them. Let me go grab one real quick.
That's one way to do it.
That's why I like that, black man.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
While he's grabbing that, one of the things where we absolutely share, and this is that educational piece. These laws, they change like clothes. So the onus is absolutely on us to find reputable resources to stay abreast on what's the flavor of the day sometimes, because you're talking about changes in administration, you're talking about, the wrong type of shooting that draws, national attention. These laws change week to week. So we have to make sure we're just doing that constant research in this arena so we don't find ourselves in this situation.
And that's why, Kev, going back to what we were talking about earlier, that's why it's important for us to be in our community. That's why it's important to have gun stores in the community. Because if not, we don't have access. There's no organic. When the last time you've seen any of these gun stores that are around here that's been here for 10 years or greater, Badger and all these other places, come to the hood and talk about firearm education with their people, right? Like, we there. That's what we do.
Right.
So, yeah, man. This right here, pistol brace, right? This was meant for people with a handicap. People do shoulder them, but you're not supposed to, right? But this is actually a brace. So this, what's common with these braces is it has a strap, right? And again, if you're like an amputee or whatever, it allows you to still be able to hold a firearm by strapping it around your arm. So this is actually considered a brace. And again, it's going to be something that on there to make you be able to stabilize the gun on like an arm that's amputated or something like that. And this is actually considered a pistol because the barrel length is less than 16 inches, right? Okay. So it's less than 16 inches. So you might be asking the question, can I ride with this in my car? The answer is yes. Is it practical? Probably not, right? So this is considered a pistol. Now this, right, similar looking gun, this is actually an AR-15, and both are AR-15, but this is a rifle instead of a pistol. Barrel length is greater than 16 inches. It has a stock on it instead of a brace, right? So, and that's the huge difference, just the barrel length, and this is a stock. This is a brace, right?
Okay. Hey, show and prove, right? I love it. Shout out to Prolific Firearms. Look, hey. Oh man, and I love a pretty gun, anyways. I'm sorry, y'all. I get that turned me on when I seen that. Ask Trump said, "Yes, sir. I didn't get educated in legal gun ownership until I moved to Florida. One of the craziest myths I grew up believing in Milwaukee was they run background checks when you go to the gun range. Oh no, they don't. They don't. Well, not to my experience, my brothers. If y'all know better, please don't. I'm not the.
They don't. Some require you show an ID. Some don't. It's optional. Most of the times, you just got to fill out a waiver, and that's just that.
And then one might ask the question, why are there no gun stores in Milwaukee? Well, I can say this because I'm old enough to remember when there actually were gun stores in Milwaukee, but almost every last one of them got robbed, right? And so if we remember, what was the one on Teutonia in the mall where the brothers went to high school? Where they ran the car, and he had been there forever, like, you know. And there was another one in Milwaukee, I believe it was on the south side. They all got robbed. So Milwaukee was like, nope, we ain't. And I guess maybe break-ins. I wouldn't want a gun store in there necessarily on the near north side right now, just because I think the level of just thievery, it would just put more guns and stolen guns into the community. Black people say that ain't fair, Kev. Well, it is what it is. You don't have to agree with everything I say. What Kamar say? Change the channel. No, I'm just kidding. No, he said you need to come to Union Grove this Sunday for Larry Fun Fest and hand out some information on gun safety to all the black people out there. Shout out to Larry Fun Fest, man. Rest in peace to Big Larry. He used to be called Black Sunday, man. Neighborhood, family, once again. But yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, all the spots, man, wherever you can put some paint where it ain't. But it will be a lot of black people out there. And since there's cars involved, some of them going to have some guns. Some of them are going to have some guns on them, right? Like, you know, which I don't know. That's what happened to it a couple years ago where we had a murder there. But so be careful what we wish for. Vince Tony in the building. He said, "What up, Outlaws? How you doing, Vince? Welcome to the show. It is Outlaw Radio Live. We got the great brothers from Prolific Firearms. We got Mr. Heal the Hood himself, Ajamu Butler, and we got the Ghetto Witch Dr. Kamar Carter as usual. We having a good conversation about responsible legal gun ownership. Let me get this one by Crystal Ship. She said, we highlight so much negativity regarding our youth, but on Friday, our youth held a prayer in a park, and Ajamu and Prolific were present. This event was created by youth and for youth as a way to add some positivity and change the narrative. It was led by the young Queen Zoe." Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Ace cool. And shout out to all the young people that is on something positive, right? And we've said that before. So much attention goes to the ones who are out here doing what they do, and not enough big ups is given to the ones that are really trying to be, you know, trying to get out of this hellhole called urban America. He said, "What are the rapid fire triggers? I hear the ATF was showing up at people's homes to search for them. I also heard that you couldn't ask them to go get a warrant." Rapid fire triggers.
So we're talking about forced reset triggers. There was an injunction a while back ago. This was probably back in right around 3 months or so ago. They became legal again. But the ATF was going around collecting those triggers and destroying them. But the thing is, they lost in the Supreme Court. So they had to it's called rare breed FRT triggers. They're back legal again, and it's if you want one, you can own one.
Okay.
Right? So yeah, it's not even a thing anymore. So I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I personally think that you should be able to own something like that. Because by definition, it does not meet the requirements of an automatic weapon. Because the whole issue was the ATF was trying to change the definition of what an automatic weapon was. This trigger, by definition, was not an automatic weapon because it fit all the requirements to be a semi-automatic weapon, right? So the fact that it fired real fast had nothing to do with it. So that was the whole litigation thing. It got wrapped up in court. It was like a 3-year battle, and Rare Breed eventually won. They had to give all Rare Breed's machining back, and they had to return customers' triggers back to them or provide them with the money that they lost when they destroyed them.
Okay. Erica Hunt said, "I told y'all they the truth." Erica, you know I know this brother, right? She's like, "I told you." Years. It's not just a few months. I've been in conversations many years. I mean, not like 20 or 30, but long enough, right? Ace says you can't have shit in Milwaukee without somebody trying to steal your shit. So that's where I wanted to go. Go ahead, Ed.
Hey, we all from the same community, man. I think we all can share in that, right?
Yeah.
We all can. But the thing is, how does change happen without any action?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wanted to go into that because the next thing is the myth about what is and what's not self-defense. I got my gun. I'm out in the street. Cat run up on me. Young dude say the ops run up on me, whatever, what have you. As opposed to me sitting in my room, I hear something and boom, and I hit him. Sound effects, right? But what's the myth? What's the myth? What's the true and the false of self-defense in Wisconsin?
It depends.
Okay.
And then we got to understand that self-defense is a privilege, not a right. Right. So the reason I say that is because when you talk about rights, those are like undeniable. And you talk about self-defense, that's a privilege. And why the reason I say it's a privilege and the court of law is going to acknowledge it as a privilege is because once you defend yourself, you acknowledge that you took someone's life. Now you need to prove that the reason you did that was because, right, you were defending yourself, because it's not legal, it's not your right to cause someone death or great bodily harm, right? But it is your privilege to defend yourself. So you want to highlight that first. And once again, just depending on the environment, it depends. Self-defense, and I'll let Eddie talk about what it looks like if you're outside your home, but I'll speak to what it looks like if you're, as it relates to like castle law, and we're talking about Wisconsin specifically. So if you are inside your business, inside your home, or inside your vehicle, right, you have the right to defend yourself. But you have to be inside any of the three of those places. And once again, that a person is inside that space, you have the right to defend yourself. They can't be outside of it though, right? So once again, you can't be walking down the street or look outside your window and see someone at your vehicle, or walking up to your home, or walking up to your office and see somebody approaching or trying to break in. You don't have the right to defend property in Wisconsin. You have the right to defend yourself if you're inside any of those.
Okay, so it's gun line, boss. I'm gonna wait till you cross the door threshold.
Gun line.
Yeah, gun line. So
that's the best analogy you had, Kevin. The fucking gun line.
Yeah, man. You at the door. You messing with the door. I'm just sitting there patiently. As soon as you step foot in, or if I should happen to catch your leg through the window, I'm just waiting for you to get both feet down.
Hey, Ken. Hey, also one of those things, man, you got to be very clear on that. Was you in fear for your life when he entered your house?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say.
I was terrified.
The definition too is you cannot. So anytime you fire a weapon, and let's be like absolutely clear, anytime you fire a weapon, it's considered deadly force. Okay. Anytime you fire a weapon, it's considered deadly force. So the reason we say that is because you do not have the right to use deadly force unless you reasonably believe you are in fear of death or great bodily harm.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna piggyback on that. So what Ron said, every time you discharge your weapon, meaning if you're shooting in the air, like for some reason we like to do, right? It's considered deadly force to somebody because that bullet goes up and comes down with enough force to kill somebody. Okay. So it's considered deadly force. That's why you get charged with reckless endangerment for discharging a weapon in public, right? Without the intent on defending yourself.
Okay, so I'm not going to say this individual's name. He's a very close associate of mine. And he was already had gun charges before and had done time. And there was an attempt on his life. And he retrieved a firearm somehow, some way, and defended himself and was not charged. He wasn't in the house. He wasn't in his house. He was out kicking it, and self-defense, I guess, was the thing. So how does that, what's the variable there? How do you say, okay, well, I ain't gonna get charged for murder. I wasn't in the house. He wasn't in my house, but you say I was just scared or what?
It depends. So here's the thing, like even someone who's a felon or someone who formerly had a mental health commitment or someone who had been charged with domestic violence. The reason I highlight those three is because those typically are people who fall under the category who can't own a firearm or can't have a concealed carry permit. But we all still have the privilege to defend ourselves. So I don't know what that specific scenario or story was, but I'll give you an example. Let's say a bad guy or would-be criminal walks up to him, right, with their own firearm. It says, "Give me all your money." And once again, he has the right to defend himself. Let's say that turns into altercation, or he is able to maybe get the weapon away. And in that struggle, he shoots him. He's not going to jail
Okay.
for defending himself, right? Or once again, somebody walks up to him and he's able to run away or grab a chair, or maybe the guy somebody's chasing him with the weapon falls. There's a bunch of scenarios in which it could happen, but where you find yourself not in physical possession at the time, but once again in a situation, right? And you need to defend yourself. So it just depends. It's one of those gray areas.
And this one happened to even be on Fox 6.
Okay.
Like, when they show the security footage, sometimes
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting there like, yo, and they showed him, two of his friends getting hit and him and tagging the other cat out. And I thought for sure, like, man, my brother finna be gone forever. And he wasn't. And so, that's why people misunderstand what self-defense is. Like, what if I'm out, like you said, you got to be in your car, or like if I'm in the car and somebody's shooting at me from outside the car, can I bust back at them? And if I hit them, I mean, like, those are questions we don't know.
One of the things,
target acquisition, target identification, and target isolation. If you can't do those three things, then you shouldn't be shooting. You're probably better off.
That's dope. That's what's up. Okay.
Say
Say that again. That was smooth. Say that again, Ed. If you had what?
Target identification, target isolation, and target acquisition. Right. And if you can't do those things, you're better off just driving away. I mean, in the car, you pretty much just sit and duck. If you can't drive away, tactically, they say you're supposed to get out the car, right? Because you pretty much just sit and duck in there. So if you got your firearm and you can get out the car and defend yourself, you're probably in better position than sitting in the car and letting shots go through that car.
Okay. Ajimo, you was trying to jump in. Go ahead, my brother.
No, I wasn't jumping in. I was trying to get that identification, isolation, and acquisition.
Oh, you like me?
Like, yeah, I needed that. I needed that.
He like me. I'm like, say that shit again.
I needed that.
Beauty's in the chat room. She said, "Okay, school is getting ready to start. Are you all going into these schools to educate?"
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, we already started to work. Beauty, we already started to work. We already in schools. We already in summer programs. We're coming to a school near you. So if you got some recommendations, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, invite us.
That part.
Absolutely.
And we actually working on a partnership with Claire Muhammad School. So we'll be doing some work with them. We actually are partnering with them to offer a reduced cost firearm education class. Coming up later this month on August 24th. Make sure y'all follow Prolific to get more information on that. But we will be in that school and a bunch of others, come the fall for sure.
That's what's up. Erica Hunt said, and it's my understanding that you have to match the threat. And when the threat has ceased, you have to cease defense. So I don't know how true that is. You got to stop shooting.
So first off, I want to invite you to one of our firearm safety classes or concealed carry class. But you absolutely, once the threat is no longer a threat or present, or it ceases, then you have to stop.
All right, one thing I'm gonna throw out there too, as far as matching the threat. Let's say if somebody had a knife, you mean to tell me you're gonna pull out a knife, so both of y'all have a knife and y'all gonna have a knife fight? If somebody got a knife and I got a gun, I'm sorry, they brought a knife to a gunfight.
But to clarify for her too, like, even though, to Eddie's point, right, when people can misperceive and understand what matching the threat means. So a knife can cause great bodily harm or death. So matching that threat is a knife or a firearm, right? What she's talking about is I can't pull a knife or a firearm if somebody threatens to hit me with a water bottle. That's not going to cause me great bodily harm or death. Okay. So once again, we get into that gray area, but when you're thinking about defending yourself, right, the only reason you're going to defend yourself is because you are in threat, right? Or you feel like you reasonably believe you're in threat of death or great bodily harm. So in order to defend yourself, you're going to match something that could also cause that other person the same amount of risk.
Okay. Ace Cooley said you have to be careful. Even in your home, there was a guy, that house got broken into and it was dark. He went to jail because he hit the guy in the back.
We talk, yeah. So we've actually heard of that example and examples like that. That goes to what Eddie mentioned, and I think what Erica said. One, you need to isolate that target, acquire that target, and identify that target. And two, you need to when it's no longer a threat, right? When the threat has ceased, typically when someone is happens to be moving away from you, right? You have to prove, is that a threat, right? How is that a threat? And also when it comes to any of these situations, just to be frank, we aren't subject matter experts directly, right? There are advocates and lawyers who go to school to study these privileges and rights we're afforded, and they articulate them for us. It's the reason we don't try to articulate them for ourselves. We hire a professional to articulate them for us so we don't end up in jail because perhaps you shot somebody in the back. Remember, all this is happening really fluid and fast, whether it's in your home or on the street, right? So these are split-second decisions. It's also the reason we talk about deadly force should also be a last resort because it is so many potential issues, right? That you in situations that you put yourself into, you are absolutely going to probably go to court and need to get a lawyer and need to go to trial and fight that case.
Okay.
All right. One thing I want to point out too, he mentioned the dark, right? So if you have a firearm at home, you should have a tactical light on the front of that gun that way it won't be dark. You don't have to worry about turning on lights. For a defensive situation, you definitely need to get yourself a tactical light similar to this.
Because how can you do those three things in the dark? You need to identify, isolate, and acquire the target. You need to prove that your 20/20 vision is somewhat better, even better than that. You got night vision skills, right? To hit a target in the dark.
Ed, you're gonna stop flexing with these pistols, man. You making me I'm feeling some kind of way, man. I'm like, should I go grab some?
We just happen to be at Prolific Gun Store right now, man. Come on out, check us out, 2192 South 60th Street. But I got quick access right now. I know you're studio tucked away somewhere.
I feel like I brought the knife to the gunfight. Like, dude, keep on pulling out guns, man. I mean, and it's a beautiful store. I've been there before, and that's the one thing we didn't give people yet. Which, once again, can we put the address of the store in the chat for people as well? If y'all just tuning in, it's Outlaw Radio on a Monday evening. Our Outlaw Radio Live. We are blessed to have the brothers from Prolific Firearms here, as well as my brother Ajamu and the Ghetto Witch Doctor. Courtney was here. She bounced. I don't know what happened. Erica said, I still don't understand looking at cases of the young men who were defending their mother from an abuser. How come self-defense isn't applying in their situation? I'm not familiar with the case.
I'm not familiar with the case, but there is no clear answer. And like Theron says, and he mentioned it in our class. All right, there's a black side and there's a white side, but we live in the gray, right? So it depends on what judge you got. It depends on what district attorney you got. It depends on if you have the money to provide yourself legal aid, right? And you getting a lawyer. Like, that's the difference between somebody going and not. A lot of people can't afford lawyers, right? Okay. So they find themselves on the wrong side of the law simply based on that.
If you shoot somebody, you are more than likely going to be charged with murder, right? Or attempted homicide, or depending on the state you live in, well, you know, depending on what that looks like, you'll be charged with homicide, right? And then the police are going to do their investigation and do their fact gathering, right? And hopefully, right, in an ideal situation, right, there's video evidence present, there's going to be witnesses present, right? But until all of that happens, and once all of that is decided, it's not unlikely that you're charged with that type of charge, and you need to wait for all, you know, everything to play out and all the evidence to present itself for a decision to happen, right? And find out where you stand. So once again, that's the reason why we talk about, hey, this needs to be a last resort. And then, you know, we get the question all the time. So how do I know When to defend myself? When am I going to defend myself? When can I? We talk about this acronym we adopted called ADD, avoid, deny, defend, right? So the avoid part is what we do as responsible, law-abiding citizens every day. We wake up, right? It's the reason, I'm going to go to this Target on this side of town versus the Walmart on that side of town, or it's the reason I'm going to stop at this gas station because that's me. That's where my comfort zone is. That's me attempting to avoid critical incidents, right? And then the deny piece is, okay, so I'm at the Target, I'm at the Walmart, I'm driving, where I'm comfortable, hanging out where I'm comfortable, and then there's a potential threat. What am I going to do to deny access to me? My first options need to be, can I run away, walk away, drive away? Can I hide? What can I do? And then lastly, if I've been unsuccessful at avoiding it, denying it access to me, I'm going to defend myself. But in defending myself, right, this is my last resort. That means there's nowhere for me to run, there's nowhere for me to hide. And because of that, I've done the training, right? I'm going to acquire, isolate, acquire, isolate, and
Identify
my target, right? So once I meet those target requirements, I know I have the right ammo in my gun, right? Am I using self-defense ammo versus defense rounds, right? So full metal jackets versus hollow points. I say all that to say there is a lot of work and education that goes into defending yourself. And ignorance of the law does not afford you, does not give you
right. Ignorance is
immunity.
no excuse. Right.
Bingo, it does not give you immunity from the law. So we still responsible for all of it.
Now, I put this up here because I thought this was a concept. If you are thinking about what processes you're going through when you got your firearm, he said target identification, isolation, and acquisition. That's probably one of the bigger quotes from this show that you can take with you tonight. This is Ace. He said, are there any black gun clubs in Milwaukee? None that I'm aware of, but there may be. I don't know if you brothers are aware of any.
You will see Prolific Arms Gun Club coming real soon. We actually, me and Theron been talking about this for the last year. We again, throughout the work that we're doing, man, it's been hella busy, but we're going to start concentrating our efforts on that gun club really soon.
Shoot that to me. I'm jumping right in. I am there, right? Erica, this is Ajamu conversing with the people. Shout out to Ajamu. Orlando Owens said family. Orlando Owens, the most hated man in Chocolate City, right?
Black girls matter. You see his shirt? Black girls matter.
Right. Ascot Jones said rock, paper, scissors. Erica Hunt said, I'm gonna have to come to a class, but the information I have is from the life experience and wisdom my uncle shared with me. I would get the legal version because black people be thinking they know the law, and your ass gonna be in court trying to quote dude, and you gonna end up in the house of correction.
My uncle said,
right, your ass gonna be in the house of correction for 20 years trying to go to one of these brothers' classes. She said, I see you over there with your toys. Wow. Just talking about Ed with the Strizlaps. All legal. And keep in mind, he's at Prolific Firearms right now. So you notice there was tags hanging from these firearms. So it's not like he flossing out the trunk of his car like, yeah, I'm ready for these niggas. Ascot said, right, this show and tell. Everybody who got guns feeling some kind of way, like, well, he flossing on us.
Hey man, these not the personal joints. I pull out the personal joints. You really gonna feel a certain type of way.
I've seen some of them. He ain't lying. I've seen some like, oh, put my shit back up.
I got the bazooka. I got a helicopter at the house in the backyard.
Man,
come on.
Don't be a menace when he got the nuclear missile. Like, do we have a problem?
Like, she said, why are we so far from the hood?
Yeah,
we working on getting closer, but for legislative reasons and as it relates to Milwaukee, we have to be where we are. But our store is physically from not in the city of Milwaukee, but we both are residents of Milwaukee, and majority of our clients, our security clients, majority of the work we do from an educational and outreach standpoint is Milwaukee. So we are Milwaukee based, Milwaukee committed, Milwaukee everything.
And it ain't as far as you think it is from the hood. I'm here to tell you.
Not. No, it's not. It's not.
It's Milwaukee adjacent. It's not like, oh man, I got to go to Greenfield. No. I don't want to get a street up because I let y'all do that, but I don't, but it's not that far. Go ahead, brother.
Right on Holly Road, 2192 South 60th Street, right off of Holly Road. We're just south of Lincoln, right? So it's not that far. It takes me 10 minutes to get home, and I'm still in the walk.
Okay. Ashcott Jones flexing in the chat. He said, "Let me go to the vault." Hey, Ashcott, as soon as you said 454 Kasul, nobody else was gonna say nothing else to you except Ed, because I didn't have a dog in the fight with the 454.
Hold on. Oh,
so Sarita Shaw said flexing with pistols. She's laughing. Ajamu is giving up the address for the show. Let me see who's this. Okay, Prolific Firearms, 2192 South 60th Street, West Allis, Wisconsin, 53219. Let me go back to my other comments. Let's see. Orlando Owens said, he said Black Guns Matters. It's another gun club out of Philly. We talking about in Milwaukee. He said, this is Orlando said, I rock with this panel. I will sign up for the gun club.
Appreciate that.
Ace Cooley says, shoot him that information when you all start the gun club. Oh, you'll see it on here. You'll see it on here. You will see it on here.
Make sure y'all following us on Prolific on Instagram and on Facebook, man. Go ahead, hit that like button.
Does that gold look all right on there?
Oh my God.
Put it closer to the camera, Eddie. Put it closer to the camera, bro.
Got the Pablo Escobar joint.
What is that? 18 karat gold?
Is that? No, that's gold. That's gold plated though.
Gold plated.
It smells gold plated too.
That could be yours right now. Go and get it from the store, y'all. 3,200. Put that paper up.
Oh my God.
It's gold plated though.
Kamar, he on here for us. You ain't missed nothing. He got the Pablo Escobar joint out here.
I seen it.
That's 50 AE too. That's 50. That's it. You know what I mean? That's 50.
Big boy right there. Leave a hole, right? Hole in your soul. This is Orlando Owens. He said, let me get to the chat. He said, I strongly suggest getting insurance. I have it with the firearm service. It also provides legal counsel.
Yes.
Ewok says, open up the line. The line is open. Nobody ain't called me. I don't know. I guess we haven't said we taking questions. So give us a second, Ewok. I just want to read. I'm trying to keep up with the chat room.
Somebody just said something about the insurance. Man, we partner with USCCA Insurance, man, which is big. Don't you got USCCA? Kev?
I got the forms. You gave them to me. We were supposed to. We never reconvened.
We got to get together on that, man. Yep. See, they provide an unlimited amount for your legal expenses, right? So if you needed a lawyer, it's an unlimited amount they're willing to provide, and they will provide up to $50,000 in bail money if it should be needed, up to $750 a day if you was to lose wages for your legal woes, and also they help if your record needs to be expunged or whatever the case may be. They help with all that. So the USCCA is something that if you're interested in, we can provide you some more information for that too.
Okay, now Vince is saying schools allowing gun safety classes. Will it be part of that school's curriculum? Will parents have to consent to classes? And with MPS's reading and math deficiencies, is MPS on board? I don't know that you're doing gun safety classes. I thought you were doing more education on firearms. I don't know. Y'all can lay that out.
Yeah. So this is not necessarily an MPS offered curriculum. We are, as Prolific Arms, we actively are seeking opportunities, and typically these fall under the extracurricular opportunities. Where you're talking about weekend enrichment, summer enrichment, and or after school enrichment opportunities for youth, where typically we're coming in with some of our community partners like Ajamu with Heal the Hood, like the Office of Community Wellness and Safety, where they've organically already put in and carved out partnership opportunities to have time set aside to come talk about different topics, right? And when we're coming in, we just happen to come in and speak to topics around firearm safety and education.
Okay. Ajamu, you was trying to add to that, my brother. Go ahead.
All I was going to say, and I'm representing Prolific. I'm not representing Heal the Hood, so I'm going to clean myself up. But I'm just going to say, Brother Vince, Tony, don't come on here being messy, bro, and being problematic, dog. Please don't do that. Cause he stay saying something on Facebook real weird and real off the wall. Like, bro, it don't be the space for that type of shit. Like, and he won't never directly answer my question. Matter of fact, all right, that's what I'm saying. I'm representing prolific, but I'm just saying, Vince, this ain't the space for the extracurricular weird shit, bro.
This is Messy Monday. It's Messy Monday. It get
That's
a little
it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
The agitator, right? A says, shoot that information to me. Okay, I read that. He said, so I think I'm all caught up. Y'all give me a second because I do got another question. Want to know if something changed. Let me see. Oh, Ashcott's reacting to the Pablo Escobar. That's what I'm calling it. He said, my. I've seen it in person. It's a beautiful piece of equipment, man. Yeah, man, too heavy for my credit card. Beauty said, you know what? You too much. I think she's talking about that big ass gun too. Y'all got my cousin. I got my cousin excited, boy. He done gave heart emojis, right?
Hey, Orlando, that's a Desert Eagle, man. 50 caliber, 50 AE.
Desert Eagle. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Israeli security force gun, right? Erica Hunt, not him smelling it, LOL.
Hey, I like to hey.
What that thing smell like?
Don't pass the smell test. It don't go home. It don't go home. It don't go home.
Hey, man. Hey, man. Right. Hey, come on now. A said, I hope y'all not expensive as my boy out in Menominee Falls. They nice, but you got to sell a kidney just to make a purchase.
Man, we got guns for every price or every budget. Budget. We'll get you something and decent, man. And our used guns. And so people be so anti-used gun, man. I love a good used gun. Most of my guns are used. I'm telling you.
Both of us. We got some nice used guns.
Hey,
come on in.
No, don't let Ace make y'all think he on a budget.
He got the money for it. Ace got the money for it.
Ace got some money for what he want. He got some money for what he want.
Right. He's trying to play cheap. Well, just give me 145.
Probably just throwing a shot. Probably just throwing a shot at that other store.
Okay. Oh yeah. Right. Price match. What they call it? Bargain beater. Price beater. He said. Orlando said, "I am getting a little excited." He said he's with USS C8 already.
Good company. We with him too.
So Erica said her uncle told her about the USCCA. She gets emails from him. So maybe you can quote him in court. I don't know. He said the phone is having an issue, Kevin. Is it? Let me see something right here because Kev might have. Okay, let me try this. This might let y'all in. All right, let's see now. So the phone is having an issue, Kevin. He said my whole government name. Orlando Owen said the number shouldn't be a problem. I don't even know how to say this right here. So I don't know if there's somebody people.
Yeah, that's my people. Makawe. That's my big brother. He's South African, but he live in Minnesota. That's my big brother.
Okay, because I will murder it. I've been calling Mojave. Like I'm telling you.
Makawe. What's happening, big bro?
Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for tuning in. She said, are they expensive guns? A gun is like a car. You get what you pay for, right? Like, do you want to be the dude in Harlem Nights that they had to tell to stop shooting? Like at the range, like
but it's also something for every budget. Like Eddie said, you can get you something for your budget.
And they're all deadly. They're all deadly. That's what I want to say to y'all, because we say size matters, right? And so I know years back when I purchased a 10 millimeter, and there was this whole narrative that you have to be, if you shoot someone with a 10 millimeter, if you shoot them, I guess, too many times, you could be charged with overkill because of this case out of California in which the guy was walking on the trail and somebody jumped out at him. He shot him like 7 or 8 times with the 10 millimeter. And it was like, well, it's overkill. So it went above, they said it went above self-defense. So he actually, there was some issues there. So I don't know if that law has changed. Are y'all aware of that?
The thing about that, Kev, is you need to understand too, every state is different. They have their own bodies of law. California is a weird place for guns, just like Illinois is. Right?
California, yes.
California is super weird, but there's like, who's shooting someone and be like 1, 2, is that enough? 3, 4, is that enough? One thing we lose when we're in a critical situation is fine motor skills. You have no control over your body. Your body is going through what's called fight or flight mode. So you're shooting the gun and you will literally not know how many rounds you shoot because your body is just reacting. right? And that's something that the court does take into consideration most of the time.
Okay, so it ain't about the size that it was a 10 millimeter. It was about the amount of shots.
Yeah, I would encourage that.
When they were on the ground,
I would look at the case.
You know, you're landing those shots to begin with.
Yeah, look at the case though. Every case is different. Like, I think it's important to like really understand that case, those details, and the details surrounding it. Every case is different. Like, one of the things we talk about, there's no cookie cutter situation where you can say, you know, this is going to be overkill every time in this situation. Treat every case as if it's its own.
Okay. I still bought the gun. I didn't care. I said it is what it is. I'm just saying.
Gun. 10 millimeter
Oh man, beautiful. It's a Glock.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I'd have had mine to show off on the show. I should have brought it down here. It's a beautiful, one of my favorites. This is Ernest. He said, "Don't tell Orlando nothing. He a spy." She said, Erica said, "Y'all funny. Y'all remind me of my uncle and his homeboys." Let me see. Who's this next? Said shotgun. The Barilla. I want one. Shotgun, the Barilla. Now I gotta take a pause, y'all, because I'm almost done with this chat room because I want to make sure everybody's heard. A said, "Is there a gunsmith or someone to help build?" Ed, I believe you have access
right
to something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now hold on, Orlando. He said, "Is there?" I can't say this again. Jamu, help me out with this. It's your brother. How you say his name again?
Makawe.
Okay. Said, don't forget Chi-Town. I'm a Yankee Zulu. Okay.
Yeah, so he from Chicago, but he got South African parents type shit. Yeah, that's my brother.
Yankee Zulu. Ben said, "Been called an agitator, a ranter, a creep, and now I'm weird. Can a brother out here for our women and our children and elderly catch a break?" Orlando Owens is saying Ernest is a comedian. A said, "Can y'all explain justifiable homicide?" The phone line is open. I missed the last call. So if you have questions for these brothers, and let's be real. If you have a question, ask a question. Like, don't, like, respect the platform. So I welcome people to call in, but come on, y'all. Let's not get too messy on a Monday. We got these brothers here. We're going to respect their time. Let's talk about what we're talking about. We're talking about firearms. And so my next question for you brothers is, I have a friend in Arizona who recently reacquired his right to have firearms, right? And he called me and he said, "Kev, like, I'm going to the store. What should I get? Like, what's the starting point?" And my explanation to him was, it depends on your comfort level. It depends on what's comfortable in your hand. What I told him was, don't go in there and try to get the dirty, hairy off top. Don't go in there and get like that 50 cal Ed just showed. If you've never shot a gun and you're not familiar with firearms, don't start with that. Right? Like, so what would you all tell somebody who walked in? I'm a new customer. Hey, I want to purchase my first gun.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start off with purpose. Like, what's your purpose of this gun? Because when you're choosing a gun, is it for home defense or you're going to be concealed carrying? Right? Does it have to be large enough for you to attach a light to if it's for home defense? Does capacity matter to you? Like, there's a bunch of different factors that goes into it. One, I'm gonna start with purpose. What is it for? Right? My first gun was a Glock 19. Right? I was concealed carrying it. It's small enough to conceal carry, but large enough to still use for home defense if I had to. Right? So that was like Glock 19 Gen 3. I bought that gun probably 20 years ago. Right. So again, purpose matters when choosing a gun. And a Glock is pretty much a universal gun, super reliable. That's probably where I would start if I was new to guns. Right. So purpose, decide on that purpose first. What is it for?
Deron, you want to jump in on that?
No, I fully and wholeheartedly agree with Eddie. What's the purpose that matters? And then level of education matters too. Okay.
And I'm not lying when I tell you that's what I told him. I said a Glock is a great starting point. They got multiple calibers, multiple, like if you got big hands like mine, I got a 17, and that's for me because I got these gorilla hands. But if you got the small one like the 19s or some of the more compact stuff, like it just depends. Like you got to fit. Like you don't buy your pants, too tight or too loose. You buy your pants to fit. So and I told him you're gonna get what you pay for. So if you want something featureless and cheap, that's what you're gonna get. But if you get in the the different furniture and barrels and the housing and all that,
Yeah.
you're gonna write a pretty steep ticket though. That's
Yeah,
what I think.
Liability is a thing too, man. Like my thing is, I don't buy guns if it hasn't been in a war, right? Meaning, if it's been in a war, it's been proven. So Glock's been in a war, right? Beretta's been in a war. Colt been in a war, right? So my thing is, if it's not in a war, I always think like, man, look, I don't know if I should necessarily have that because it hasn't been battle proven, and the reliability seems to be an issue, especially if it's a first generation gun.
Okay.
You know how you spend time doing your research and doing your homework before you go buy a car. Even if you don't know anything about that car, you start to go down that rabbit hole and do some research. The arena of firearms should be given the same amount of respect. Like it's that much responsibility that goes along with. So do some research, and then I'll also go in and find some subject matter experts to help you navigate.
Yeah, jump on YouTube. I mean, what can't you find on YouTube, right? And then don't go with the first thing you see. Yeah. Try to find a common denominator and say, this is what I should be focusing on. Because there's some people on there that's working for companies too and manufacturers. So they're going to
reputable research.
Yeah.
Reputable resources are really, really important, man, because you got somebody up there bigging up a high point.
Right. No doubt.
Find reputable resources and do some research and be patient and do some homework.
You know what? I tell people this. This might be kind of funny. I tell people go watch Hickok 45 because I know he can be slanted, but he's going to give you the ins and the outs and the history and how to clean it. He's going to show you how to strip it. And he's entertaining because he's an old redneck in Tennessee.
As prolific arms, I tell people go talk to Eddie.
Okay.
All serious is Eddie is like one of those guys.
Okay.
Which if you see, when we get into certain conversations and certain topics, I know to defer to my partner.
That's what's up.
The technicality, right, that goes with firearms when you're talking about calibers, design, makeup, reliability. This dude did his research. He's done his research. So once again, call Prolific. We got you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess my opinion will change then. You jumping in? What you got for us, brother?
I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, so check this out, y'all. I got a couple callers. Ewok, you called first and I missed your call. So what did you want to say?
Oh, get your bitch ass in us. I gotta cuss my dog out. Hold on. Get in there.
Who we talking to?
Here we go.
What you doing?
And it's his birthday, so yeah, hey, okay, knowledge is power. I understand, you know what I'm saying, knowing about guns and knowing how to, use guns, gun safety, all of that shit. But guess what? When it boils down to it, it don't matter what calibers you got. It don't matter nothing sometimes. It matters who the fuck shot who first. And if you're doing the right thing at the right time when it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a raggedy ass 22 with some duct tape wrapped around that motherfucker and it works and you defending yourself and get somebody up off you, then it shall be. That's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate this conversation because it is deep, because knowledge is power. You do need to know how to clean your weapon. You do need to know how to, dry clean your weapon sometimes without no oil and all of that. And also, field strip. That's the name of it. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you for correcting me. But yes, sir, all of that, plays a part of being knowledgeable, and it's all good and dandy. But I tell you what, keep your pistol handy. The rule is rigged. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean that just because they say you a felon, don't have you no gun. I don't care. I ain't no felon. But I tell you one thing, if I was, I would still have one. Ain't nobody gonna have one against me while I ain't got one. That ain't fair.
Okay.
So I'm just, how the fuck is that fair? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Everything rigged. We got to live on this planet together, man. And some motherfuckers is cheating. I ain't finna get cheated. You dig? So shit. I just want to know how y'all feel about that.
I tell people, and especially as a gun store owner, right, and educator, we are advocates. We're going to promote like the law, right, like abide by the laws and rules set forth. But we aren't oblivious to the real world that we live in. So I tell people, look, we live in a great world. Be willing to face and accept the consequences for the decisions you make. So the risks you take, they need to be calculated. And once again, if you are willing and you saying, hey, I understand what this risk means to me and what it could potentially afford me, then once again, be willing to also accept those consequences. But yeah, I hear where you're coming from. But once again, we will just promote the law and
Elite.
the rules of the
And I
law.
want
Yeah.
to I want to throw
Yeah, no
something out
doubt.
there
I
too.
understand that. I understand that as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to misconstrue or lead nobody astray. I just feel like, you know what I'm saying, we all on this earth together, and law is written by men, and we are all men. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying disobey the law, because sometimes laws make things what they should be and keep people in order. But sometimes they are written to disadvantage people. So I'm not trying to Malcolm X or start no riot, but if you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. That's all Malcolm was saying. Yeah, don't take my gun away from me because he caught me selling one book of crack rock and shit. Now I can't have one. You know what I'm saying? So I still feel like I have a right to have one to defend myself against anyone that try to fuck with me in the wrong fashion with the resistance that's necessary. I'm
Okay.
not about to lay my gun down for that.
Ajamu was trying to get in here, Ernest. I want to make sure
Yes, sir.
we get his take on this.
And
Go
I
right
was just
ahead.
gonna say real quick, as far as my brother had said, like a firearm is a firearm is a firearm. That motherfucker gonna shoot, it's gonna say bang, and it is going to hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like how we treat martial arts. I don't never talk down on any other style of martial art, no matter what my particular style of martial arts is, because as long as that shit saves your life, as long as you can back up a bad guy, as long as you can get back home to your family, do that martial arts, taekwondo, boxing, jiu-jitsu, X, Y, and Z. However, we do know that there are certain martial arts that are a little bit more brutal, a little bit more tactical than others, if you will. So I agree. A firearm is a firearm. As long as it get me back home to my family, I'm with that. But again, I think when we talk about that education arm, just like bro was just saying about Eddie, that's a guy who can really take you through the different companies, the different types, the different calibers, and really find what works for a particular person. But I also
May,
want to say this too, real
may,
quick. My
may
phone on
I
3%.
elaborate? You know what I'm saying?
Hold
I'm
on.
not
Yeah,
We
trying
don't
to
want
cut
to
I
you
was
off.
just
talk
gonna
over
say
each
real
other.
quick, OG.
I'm
Yeah,
not
my
going.
phone
I'm not
about to
going to do
die.
that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say my phone about to die, so I was just gonna do one last shout out and say to all the listeners, man, make sure y'all tap in, follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Prolific Arms. We are not hard to miss. We got a big old Prolific Arms Second Amendment Advocates logo right there on Eddie hat and on his shirt. So make sure y'all tap in with us, man. We got discounted firearm education class coming up on August 24th. We're gonna be right in the hood doing that. So instead of going or bringing people to our location, we bringing the teaching to the block, if you will. So make sure y'all tap in with us. I'm gonna get up out of here because now my phone on 2%. You dig?
I want to make this point
Yes,
though. I want to make this point
yes,
about
sir. I want to elaborate too, though,
let's
Kev.
dismiss this
Hey, Kev,
notion.
I want to elaborate, but
Hold
go
on,
ahead.
Ernest. Hold on. We can't
Yes,
just
sir.
say a gun is a gun. It don't matter what you got because it's gonna shoot. Because I'm gonna tell you, you have a raggedy ass, cheap ass gun. You
Right.
have a gun that's maintained well or whatever. Number one, you kill your motherfucking self with it on accident. You cheddar bob yourself trying to get it out your pocket. And number two, when you point and shoot, it might not go off. So now you done
Well, that's
misfired.
the educational part.
Well,
I agree
no,
with
but
the
I'm talking about the
educational part.
gun. Period. Like you can say, well, a gun is a gun is a gun, but that's not true. You got
I didn't say that.
you have some very efficient handguns that have a very intentional purpose, and they will work. Like a Glock, we talked about a Glock. Leave it dirty, put it in water, put it in mud, put it whatever. It's gonna bump. But if I pull that high point out, that motherfucker might not go off. It might.
Okay, you like Glocks. We understand
No,
you
it's
like
not just
Glocks,
about the
Kev. We
Glock.
get
It
it.
ain't just about the Glock. I'm not a Glock fanboy. What I'm saying is certain firearms, you get what you pay for. The durability, the dependability,
Right.
the efficiency, all of that stuff it's all in the price tag. That's all I was trying to say.
All right, I get that. But I wanted to speak on the martial arts part. That's fine. Hey, do you supposed to not use your martial arts and shit just because a motherfucker slapped you in your goddamn face first, and then he can't whoop ass, and then your martial arts better than his is and shit? Come on, that's stupid. We need to stop being stupid. Look what happened to that black man in Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? They got 5 motherfucking niggas in jail, and they got tapes that prove that the Russian hunky, I said hunky, the Russian hunky slapped the black man first. He ain't even arrested. The goddamn chief of police said they talked to his lawyer. His lawyer said, well, we can't talk to him. This is exactly what they said. Go look it up on motherfucking YouTube and think I'm lying. These motherfuckers went and got the black motherfuckers right away. Where was they lawyers that said, hey, my client don't want to talk to you? This fucking Russian motherfucker who actually slapped the black man first and was spewing nigger words and shit. God damn it.
That's a little off the subject of guns, though. We kind of getting away from guns. We want to keep it, because out of respect for their time, I want to try to keep it centered on guns. Now, hold on, Ernest. No, ain't no my fault. Ain't no my fault. I hear what you're saying. You're making a point about the inequalities of the law. You know, you say Scarface say if justice is by him, buy the bitch some glasses. I'm with you on that.
But within y'all gun conversation, y'all was talking about how to be safe, how to be careful, how to obey the law and shit.
No doubt. But I'm saying
that leaves it wide open for me to have my conversation.
Right, and that's why your conversation is valid. But I'm trying to get back to the center, and we got some comments and we got some callers. So just hold on a second. This is Erica saying. This is Erica saying she started with a 9mm because that's what fit well in her hand. We were talking about fit. Ace says most women want something with very little recoil. What is the accuracy of the bullpup that you insert your Glock into? He's talking about adding a bullpup frame for it.
No, well, it's not a bullpup. What that is it's like an insert. It's like an insert. It's not a bullpup. A bullpup is referring to like an AR or a shotgun.
Shotgun, yeah.
But he's talking about the insert, like the it's a I forgot what it's called, and it's a chassis system.
Chassis, there we go. Chassis. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Inserted inside of it. So so as far as recoil is just recoil management. Once you learn how to grip the gun properly, recoil is not going to be a thing for you like that. Most women that take my class, I got women that can outshoot most men after they take my class a couple of times. I got this old lady that can outshoot most men. She's 65 years old, right? And if you see her groupings, all her groupings are this tight, right? This tight at like 25 yards, right? Or 25 feet, right? Which is pretty good. So my thing is you manage recoil by your grip and actually how you're holding the gun. So as far as like women, when they be like, women should just get a 38 and women should get a 9mm, right? Or whatever it is they want to shoot and become proficient at shooting that firearm.
That's right. What's up. She said my uncle and brother wanted me to get to one after I was assaulted. Ace Cooley said, shit, even if you are a felon, you're not allowed to own a bulletproof vest.
That is correct.
Shout out to DeVille Willis, man, out in Vegas. Shout out to you, Q Love. Said Papa Doc had one. What gun did he have, Q Love? Oh, you talking about movie, yeah. Bob said Earl Henry said my grandfather gun from 1929. Hey, if it was maintained in oil, it'll probably still shoot.
Hey,
it'll be heavy as hell.
Ron got this coat that's that old. It's like a 1908 coat with a pearl handle. That thing is beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said, no, you can't just beat that man, and that's what I was referring to when I stated the once the threat is eliminated. So, Ernest, you're still on the line. Erica is referring to your comment about that they kept beating on the white man after he said nigga and punched the white boy in the face. Now, I do before you respond, Ernest. I got Orlando on the line. Orlando, you still with us?
Yes, sir.
What did you want to say, Orlando?
Oh, great panel. I love everything they said. I definitely want to look at the Borelli shotgun from my home.
Benelli. Okay.
I might be pronouncing it wrong. It's a shotgun I've been looking at, but it's still Berg too. Love everything they were saying, even invoking that there are some states that are letting felons get their gun rights back again, which I am supportive of, depending on whatever it was, right? So love what they're saying. Want to come out to their range. Want to come check their establishment out. I am definitely a gun supporter. I got several myself. I'm looking at trying to get a shotgun.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna suggest 1301. Look into that one. Do some research.
Oh, and also Colin Nowhere. I watch him a lot.
Oh yeah, that's my guy.
I'm here, Kev. I want to answer Erica Hunt, but you got to repeat the question.
Well, no, she made a comment that was related to what you were speaking on in Cincinnati, with the brothers who beat up the white dude, right? And it was
Yes, sir.
that her point was, if you knock the threat down, right? So once he punched the brother in the face and the brothers put hands and feet on him, it's supposed to stop. But of course, we watched the footage in which the ass whooping was extended. So she was saying that they should have just knocked him down and stopped. You saying no, he was getting his ass whooped. He shouldn't have fucked up. I guess I don't want to speak for you.
Yeah, ain't no love. They didn't show us no love. They didn't stop burning us and shit after they was having fun laughing and shit. Once the fire hit our feet and shit at the goddamn stake and shit. I don't understand these motherfucking black apologists for white people. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. Fuck that.
Okay.
They don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Orlando don't get nothing. He needs to get off the phone with his square ass, with his tap dancing ass, hillbilly ass, loving ass, red hat, backing ass, MAGA motherfucker. See, I don't play games when it comes to real shit. And Orlando, I hope you can hear me and hear me real good. You's a Tim Scott. You worse than him. That motherfucker Tim Scott tried to shake that white man hand and that white man didn't shake his. And then you'll act just like him and act like, oh, he must didn't see me. Stupid motherfucker, he ain't shaking your hand because you's a nigga. You stupid ass nigga. See, fuck all of that contempt for white people. Fuck all these laws that they make for motherfucker niggas not to defend themselves. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to sit here and say not be aware of how the shit works. That's not my intention. Wisen up and do it the right way. I'm good with that. But I can't stand no tap dancing, shuffling ass nigga like Orlando.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Hey, do they know each other?
Well, this is an ongoing thing on Outlaw Radio.
Okay, yeah, we don't. Okay,
right.
yeah.
So y'all just walked in on some like this in house, right? This is just, and we.
That
Listen, one thing you got to understand about. Hold on, Ernest. One thing you got to understand about Outlaw Radio is we're nonpartisan, so we're not Democrats or Republicans. I don't believe personally in the two-party system, or you got to be an elephant or you got to be a donkey. So what I end up doing is I allow everybody to have an opinion. And whether they agree with me or not, all you got to do is respect the platform. They don't agree.
Sometimes it's not political.
Well, I was explaining to them what the beef is. Ernest, I'm explaining to the brothers what the beef is about because they don't have a clue. I want to say this because I respect y'all time. Okay. First of all, how can people get into your classes? Gun training, carry and conceal, whatever. How can people and when are they? How do you schedule them? What's the cost? All that good stuff.
I'll say this: follow us on social media. That's the easiest and quickest way to get in contact with us on Instagram and Facebook. Prolific _arms on both of those websites. And then as it relates to signing up and registering for those classes, those links are right in both of our bios. It speaks to pricing, the length of the classes, and then we also have a calendar updated on a monthly basis on there. If you go to either of those platforms and you don't see a class posted or available, you can inbox us. We do private classes with small groups, large groups. And yeah, we'll make it work out. A lot of the things we do with kids and youth, whenever we can, we're going to make ourselves available. And if cost becomes a barrier between us and our ability to get to our youth, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna make it work.
Okay. Now, once again, Ed, did you have something you want to add? Because I said,
if there's any organizations out there watching, or you know of any organizations that can benefit from our service, you can get in contact with us via those outlets the Ron was just talking about, and also email us at info@prolificsafe.com.
Okay, and we spoke with Brother Ajamu. You all will actually be back on the 11th, I believe, because he secured 2 spots. So we will be able to converse between now and then on if it's anything else y'all want to put out here. Maybe we could do something different with how we even present it, because I know you got space, Ed, so we might even be able to just get face to face. Yeah. So you and I will, because we've discussed that for a very long time anyways, just never been able to move on it. So we got some space between us, so y'all welcome, and y'all welcome to come back anytime. You already know, man. Y'all are friends of the show, so it's a very important topic. Now let me see what else I got. This is Erica saying y'all sound like some OGs in the alley. Shout out to Sharita Shaw. She's saying damn, because Ewok just unloaded the barrel on Orlando. Erica Hunt said don't nobody like Orlando. Sharita Shaw said Sambo and ass. And Erica Hunt. Erica Hunt said, you decrease your risk when you stay within the law.
They got there.
He walks in, stop apologizing to Peckerwoods. This is Ocean. She died. How you doing, my sister? She said, peace, outlaws. And this is Erica Hunt saying, do you have any partners who help with the trauma side of defending yourself?
Absolutely. Yeah, we partner with licensed mental health counselors and therapists on our team. We have 2 of them.
Okay. So y'all share this show, man. Get in touch with. Oh, I did want to ask y'all about straw purchases because I seen this, and I'm gonna say this. I seen that there was some. They tried to frame y'all up. You know what I mean? There was a shooting incident, and then they came right out and said, and the firearm was purchased from Prolific Firearms. And I said, oh, look at this shit right here, right? And so when somebody comes into the store, obviously you can tell. I know both of y'all veteran enough to see a straw purchase. You know, she don't know nothing about guns. He over there with his hand on his mouth, like, oh, look, the gray one, right? What do you all have any tactics or fail say so you can say, we probably shouldn't sell this pistol to this person?
I've been flat out honest with them. Like if I suspect a straw purchase, I can tell them like, hey, listen, this seems like a straw purchase. I'm not going to sell you a firearm, right? Just
what's up.
Flat out like that. Or if one of my employees are here and I wasn't here, right? They have the option to deny somebody of a straw purchase as well, right? If they suspect anything like that. A lot of the time, like you said, is somebody trying to navigate the situation for somebody else. Or I've even heard or had somebody like a woman come submit a background check and the dude to call back and say, oh, yeah, I'm checking on her background check. Oh, automatic. No, you good, bro. I'm not.
Dummy. Dummy.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? For any reason, man, we are able to deny a background check. Some of the times, you know, in conversation we have with them, we're able to pinpoint if they have any firearm experience or not. You know what I'm saying? Like caliber. Hey, let me see. I've handed you a gun, and if you holding a gun like it's a gross thing, then it's probably not for you, right? Like if you holding it like it's, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of different red flags we're able to point out. And again, being in this industry or just being in this store for the short amount of time we've been here, I already denied probably about 20 sales myself.
Oh,
just me alone, right?
Right.
So yeah,
and that's important. That's an important piece because we have a problem with that as well. And somebody like you mentioned Badger, and one of the things they were super callous. Like I used to go to Badger. I've been in Badger, and I've seen like that's not for her. Right, like what's she gonna do with a 44 Magnum? And the dude be kind of standing back, like, and they just here, and that's why so many of their firearms ended up, you know, in involved in shootings and stuff, and so subsequently they lost out. So yeah, I'm glad y'all take those protocols.
Yep, definitely.
That's what's up.
If I can say this, Kev, I was gonna say, great panel. I'll get back to the channel another time, but you know, I want to respect the platform and your guests. You guys were awesome.
Yes, sir, man. Shout out to Prolific, man. Thank y'all, brothers, for coming, man. Hey, we got to chop it up, man, because I need something new too. My kids is lonely.
Man, I got you, man. I got you.
Yeah, my babies is lonely. They like, when you gonna get another one?
The red carpet, red.
Me too.
Okay. Yes.
Come on up.
Oh, I'm coming. Yeah. I'm gonna come up, man. We'll talk. We'll chop it up, man.
Oh, for sure.
All right, man. Peace and love, my brothers. Thank y'all for coming.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right, y'all. So listen, Outlaw Radio, y'all, we got company. Y'all gonna act a fool. Really? We got company. Y'all gonna act a fool. Come on. You can't bring people to the house. The kids is acting the fool, cussing each other.
I just knew it was coming. As soon as Orlando hit the spot, man, and Ewok hit the spot, I knew it was coming, man. I knew it was coming.
Ewok had his ass whooping voice on when he called. Like, hey, listen, man. I already knew. Man, shout out to these brothers, man. Peace and love, y'all. Thank y'all for coming, man.
All right, so y'all have a good night. All right.
And I think the platform, and always that we may not always agree. That's fine, but I'm always gonna respect kind of the protocol, what's going on. And unfortunately, you got individuals in the chat, whatever. Like, we know what some of us saying on some issues. That's cool, but Kev is doing something. Kamar doing something right now. Can we just be in the moment right now? And it is sad. It's sad.
I don't care. I mean, it don't bother me. I mean, this is Outlaw Radio. Like, this is, I just, it's funny. Actually, I was being sarcastic. Like, I was tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what y'all do every week. So it's not like nobody who listens to the show is surprised. This is, y'all go, and then I get off the show, and then you call me and insult everybody who insulted you for about an hour. And I sit there and listen to that.
Exactly.
So everybody talking about everybody. Let me see. We got some time left for some foolishness since it's Messy Monday. What's on your mind, Ewok?
Man, fuck that bullshit, man. Ain't nobody calling with no foolishness. Motherfucker, I talk about Orlando like I want to talk about Orlando because he a tap dancing motherfucker, slave ass nigga and shit, and that's the truth. The thing is, man, I don't care how a motherfucker feel like the way that I present it. I sometimes it is messy. So what? Get the message, though. Orlando is a spy. He don't mean none of us on Outlaw Radio no good. He's not one of us. He get his Drake ass over there where the Drake people be at, motherfucker. God damn it, and stay the fuck in his place. Because it ain't nothing he can say that's gonna make nothing right. Never. I don't even know why he tune in. Nobody likes him. Get your Tim Scott wannabe Byron Donald's ass the fuck out of here, nigga. They don't even like you. And they just tap dancing slaves and shit that's in the Senate and shit. So, nigga, whatever you trying to be, motherfucker, you ain't gonna be. You the bottom of the barrel. You call people bottom of the barrel and shit, nigga. You the scumbag that's gonna be another scumbag, nigga. You ain't worth nothing. Period. You the worst to the worst.
Kamar trying to jump in here.
God damn it, you know what I'm saying? Is looking down on you right now, like, look at this motherfucker right here. Martin Luther King looking down on you, like, look at this tap dancing ass nigga here. You ain't
Ewok,
shit,
hold on a
nigga.
second. Hold on.
Fuck that nigga, man.
Kamar's trying to jump in here, and Kamar been quiet.
I was just going to say, man, everybody tripped because, again, like I said on the last show, Orlando come on here and he don't say nothing bad about nobody. It's everybody attacking him. You know
Don't
what
nobody give a fuck his intentions is dirty. That's what the white man do.
That's why
they come and act like they don't got no intentions.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm just saying, so that's why everybody said that from off of what you said. Because nobody saw it coming.
They come in and act like they ain't got no bad intentions.
Nobody disrespected you. Nobody called you out your name. Nobody called you out your name. And you came on talking about
that's a different category of what I'm talking about right now.
He hadn't even said, hey, Ewok. He ain't said shit.
I don't care. He said it before. He ain't called me no bottom dweller before.
You said that. You had said that.
Like, you can't talk about what he hasn't said.
You said that like we had you fucked up.
He called me a bottom dweller.
But you said that like we had you fucked up. You comment who called back off like we had you fucked up. But you called them ranting and going off.
I don't got no issues.
Listen, Ewok, so we commented off that. This is a fucking podcast, man. What you think? You gonna talk and ain't nobody gonna talk back?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you got on your chest, K-Bull, because I think you misinterpreting what I'm trying to do.
Man, it's starting to get irritating. All this name calling, grown men name calling and shit. We ain't intelligent.
If it irritates you, then you know what I'm saying. You shouldn't be a host on Outlaw Radio. This Outlaw Radio.
No, I said the name calling and shit. The disrespect. The disrespect is irritating, man.
It goes both ways. Like I said, the nigga called me a bottom dweller.
You came on here disrespecting him. He didn't disrespect you.
He called me a bottom dweller, K-Bull.
Not today.
You know what I'm saying? I got evidence that he has called me a K-walker and all kinds of shit, K-Bull. So don't sit here and try to play both sides of the fence to say this punk ass nigga. See, that's what's wrong with
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. It's always everybody else
try to save the motherfucker that's fucking you up.
So hold on.
Emotional. You niggas so emotional. It's always y'all starting to shit with him. That's what I see.
Hold on, fellas. Let me read the chat.
Is making you emotional.
I don't agree with what he said either.
Hold on.
Hey, Ewok, I don't agree with what he said either, but I'm not calling them names and shit.
Give me a second. Let me catch the chat room. Ernest, let me catch the chat room.
I call names and you don't. Good for you, K-Bull. Good for you. You don't call people names.
And that's why everybody commented on what you
don't call names.
Ewok, hold on. Let me catch the chat room.
That's why everybody commented off of it.
So let me see what's in the chat room. He says, I'm going to go all the way back. Oh, shout out to Ajamu. He said, make sure y'all like them at Prolific Firearms LLC. Shout out to Prolific Firearms, man. I got to get him another big up. Appreciate all the information. It's usually about information on Outlaw Radio. Erica Hunt said can't take y'all nowhere. Sharita Shaw is laughing. Earl Henning is in the chat room. He said, Orlando, you guys come out the bushes. We got caught back in the slavery days. They came out the bushes, but we got caught. Sharita Shaw said, Kamar, it's the history, though. Erica Hunt said, this is exactly how the OG drinking parties used to end. I'm not drunk. I don't know if anybody else drunk. I'm not drunk. She said, Beauty Waddington said, I said that we can't get along. Erica Hunt said, can we say PTSD? Beauty said, men can't have a peaceful, respectful conversation. Yes, we can. Listen.
Hold on. Now check this out.
We absolutely can. Don't take that from me.
Didn't Beauty Waddington earlier? Didn't Beauty
Don't
Waddington
sugarcoat another nigga to try to make me look bad. Niggas call me a bottom dweller.
Ewok, we can't talk over each other all at the same time.
I didn't. I thought it was open. I thought
Kamar was in the middle of a sentence when you jump back.
I didn't hear him. That's cool. My bad. I didn't know that.
That's cool. What was you trying to say, Kamar?
No, I was just saying earlier, Beauty Waddington said, watch, it's going to go up.
Is that what she said? I didn't see that.
Remember earlier we talked about that. She mentioned that earlier when all 5 of us was on the show.
She said we had a great conversation.
Yeah, then it went up.
It wasn't us though.
Just like she said.
It gotta go up. Sometimes it gotta go there so people can hear the real shit.
No, it don't gotta go up.
Yeah, it do, because see,
that's like saying you gotta go to prison if a nigga call you a mog or a bitch ass nigga. Stop that shit, man. Stop that shit.
Sugar and honey.
Stop that shit, weak ass shit, Ewok. Stop.
I'm not talking no weak ass shit. I'm talking some real shit, nigga.
That's not real, man. That's
when I told you that man called me a bottom dweller, you didn't have no response.
Talk about something productive. Call in and talk about something productive before you start calling in with insults every time. Every time
you call in, it's an insult or not, K-Bull. K-Bull, did he call me a bottom dweller or not?
That was on the old show. You talked about him too. He didn't say shit about you.
He still said it.
He didn't even start talking today. That was y'all going at it another day.
He meant it that day.
Listen, I'm about to close this out.
So you still in your emotions because he called you a bottom dweller?
No, I'm not in no emotions. I want you to recognize what
I don't even know you, man.
Before you try to discredit me. Don't discredit me because I'm saying what I'm saying when another motherfucker says some shit too. You don't get to discredit what the fuck my shit is.
Okay. So Brenda Peterson in the chat room, she said everyone's gonna be back on Wednesday. I hope so. I hope it was a great show. And it's Messy Monday, so people care. Why don't you just let them get it out? Fuck it. Beauty said we have to learn how to not keep being mean and disrespectful to each other. Erica Hunt said he started it, LOL, but don't listen to me. I'm operating out of hurt and pain. So, with all that said, this was a great.
I ain't say nothing different to him than what I said to Orlando, but he took it well. Orlando was good, and that's what I'm saying. You can see the difference. It's obvious. Don't be so fucked. Don't let him see you sweaty, Walt.
So, I wanted to talk about State Fair Park among some other things, but the conversation with Prolific Firearms went so well, Kamar. I think we'll extend that to Wednesday, because there's still a lot socially to talk about, right? Because we addressed the Cincinnati thing, but we didn't really go into it. Just because I didn't feel like, I try to stay as relevant as possible with the things that come out of my talking points. So obviously, if you tune in for the usual kind of social commentary on everything that was going on, the conversation was a little bit more specific tonight on Outlaw Radio, because it was around legal, responsible gun ownership, and this is a Black business, 2 brothers who are trying to create generational wealth. And let's be honest, like, firearms is a serious thing in this country. So I thought that was a great conversation. Sharita Saw said, what are we talking about on Club Outlaw on Wednesday? Who knows, man? The Lord lead me, man. God will tell me what to say, what to talk about. He'll say, Kev, Wednesday is what we need to talk about, right? Y'all think I'm joking, but this is how I really go about doing the show. So I don't know there might be some pivotal issue that happens between now and Wednesday, and we'll talk about that then. Kamar, so you'll be back Wednesday. What you got popping this week? I know House of Vitality is shaking like a leaf on the tree, but you got anything else special?
Yeah, I want to say Tuesday, I think tomorrow or Wednesday, one of those two is National Night Out or something like that. So it's going to be a lot of games and all that type of shit, a lot of stuff for the kids, a lot of prizes in the way out. I think they're going to have a DJ and shit going on. And then Thursday, we got the night market up there at the Sherman Phoenix. So that's going to be another big demonstration going on outside. So it's going to be a pretty heavy week at the Phoenix up there.
That's what's up. Orlando, you still on the line?
No doubt, my friend. Okay, always supporting Outlaw Radio.
So out of fairness, I'm just gonna give you a chance to retort whatever, and please don't rant because we don't have that long. I don't know if you feel like you want to add anything to the conversation. Like, Kev, I'm cool. I'll talk to you afterwards. It's up to you.
I'm cool, Kev. I'll holler at you afterwards.
All right. So listen, once again, keep your head on the swivel, man. Keep your head on the swivel. Be very careful out here. I think we're at about 84, 85 homicides. And I think it's gonna get worse just because I don't see any changes, any real reasonable solutions. Now, I do have to say this. Today, the conversation came out that now President Trump is saying that he's going to utilize the money from the tariffs to erase income tax. Now, Orlando had said that. I said, show it to me. When I see him say it, when I hear them, I hadn't seen anybody talk about this. This is what he's saying now. You're going to get rid of income tax and the tariff money. You'll get to keep your tax money, and the tariff money is going to take the place of that money. So, but we got to be careful with Trump because now who is this for? And what tax bracket do you have to be in order to get this break? Listen, if he does that, I think that'd be wonderful. I don't know about nobody else. Well, you say, well, Kev, with the tariffs, that's going to drive the cost up of everything. So you're going to need some extra bread anyways. I think it's a good thing that if you're going to put more money in Americans' pockets, it's going to be good. But what's happened to this point is Trump is servicing the rich. The poor are getting shat up on. And that's why we talk about, the big, beautiful bill, and a lot of his policies have been utilized to make the rich richer and the poor poor. But we'll talk more about that on Wednesday because I'm sure more detail will be given to that. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all for coming on. All we do is ask that you share the show. We need the exposure. If you got it on YouTube, please share the show. Our numbers are garbage over there. But share the show. Now, Kamar, do you got anything real OG for us before we go?
Always, man. Real OGs know that understanding your family needs you more than these streets want to eat you is gangster. Stop me when I'm lying.
That's what's up.